already to switch on over to actually start talking about stuff. So I mean that as give me a second to post the link everywhere I need to post the link. If you want to just copy the message, Dodge, to post it wherever you want to post it, feel free.
Cool.
Because I dropped it in the server.
I need to turn you up a little bit. You're a little quiet for me today, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, you are. I have you at 200%. And you're still pretty quiet.
Interesting. Let me check something on Discord real quick.
I think you're on the wrong microphone.
Before you do that, I was gonna say I detached. Yep, there it is. Okay, this will fix it, and we should be better now.
Holy shit!
I told you to wait.
Don?
Wait. What's up?
I think you posted the wrong link.
I did. I know. I'm fixing it. Shut up.
Damn it.
Shut up.
What did you post?
Shut up. Don't worry about it. It's fine. No proof.
It's a screenshot link.
No proof. I also have today's
Really
snack of the day, Cherry Garcia ice cream by Ben & Jerry's, not sponsored. But like
Wow.
we could be.
Okay, and then also drop it in there. Cool. I will be updating that image so that I'll update the actual stream profile so that I somehow switched our layout. Well, I must have fat fingered something. We should be, we're working on it. There we go. That's perfect. That's where I want us to be for now. Welcome everybody. Let me readjust Matsumoto over here. He's a little too big. Much better.
Alright.
And I'll switch
Wow.
down a little too. Welcome. We are missing something crucial on this screen, but that's okay. I can get it later and it will be solved. Names will be up. That's the thing we're missing on this screen, but I'll fix it for Wednesday's stream. Welcome everybody to the. Let's see if I get this right. Yeah, baby, the Saber Slave podcast, summer season, episode 1. We are technically Group 2. I have no good reason why we are Group 2, in the slightest. But to explain
we're all the
that,
original people.
That's not entirely true. We have a new face, but and also technically 2 of the people who are gonna be on Wednesday's podcast with me were here before you two. We were here before you and Michael were, Dodge.
Yes, but like we're like the recency bias people.
True. We are Group 2 simply because the other group figured out their streaming date, I think, first. So when I made the at for them as Group 1, just because they were ready, and I was yelling at them at the time to get stuff to me. Nice. Oh.
Don't worry
about it. Yeah, we're doing.
I'd like turn it down.
We're doing 2 groups. For those of you who don't know what we do, we watch shows, specifically the incoming anime or currently airing anime of the season. So since it's summer, we're watching stuff that started rolling out at the beginning of July, and will continue to roll out. Because apparently the summer season means we can start shows in August now. Apparently that's what that means. I'm real upset about that. And
you're salty about Princess Pirate, aren't you?
Oh, I very much am, yes. Also, so we aren't watching sequels. We aren't watching short form. Those are kind of our big 2 things, though. I don't know. What are we missing sequel-wise? The big stuff is Slime.
Kobayashi.
There's a couple.
That's okay. We're basically watching Kobayashi anyway.
Shut the fuck. Beach Boy is not Kobayashi. Shut the fuck up.
But we, yeah. So we're not watching sequels on this show, but we'll talk about them for a bit before we get started. Though we might want to keep some things brief today, because 12 shows, baby. This takes a while sometimes.
Yeah, we're not watching. Wait, yeah, other sequels are Standing on a Million Lives, the spin-off for Irregular Magic High School.
We didn't even watch Standing on a Million Lives when it aired.
Well, no. And from what I understand, that was a good choice. The Madoka spin-off sequel Shenanigans prequel, second season is happening.
The Princess Otame Villainess? That's what I'm looking for.
Is
Villainess
that
has its
happening?
second.
Otome
Oh yeah, that is a season.
Otome game.
Yeah, Otome game. I knew I had
guys-
part of it right.
But guys, something important we have to talk about. We did watch the Wonder Egg special.
Oh, we can finally do this because we're all here. Oh, perfect. Before we get into that, let's say this first. Collectively as a group, we have 12 shows, and a lot of those 12 shows you will see on Wednesday's podcast, where I will be the only returning face. The other 4 people joining me will be new to the podcast. Technically, I think Nathan's been here live since we've been streaming, and Alex has too, because Alex was here back during id. So they'll be Alka and Nathan, Alka/Nathan and Alex will both be back on Wednesday show with me, along with 2 other faces who you might not see, because I think Alex and I might be the only 2 doing webcams on Wednesday.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
Ooh.
I'm gonna see. Some of them can't, which is fine. But I'm gonna see if I can convince Nathan to put a fucking webcam on. By the way, there's gonna be harsh languages and spoilers.
Yeah, lots of spoilers. Like the Wonder Egg spoiler, because don't fucking watch it. Wonder Egg's terrible.
Yeah.
Watch like the first 5 episodes of Wonder Egg and be like, wow, this show looks really good, and then stop.
I want to try to get a couple of things out quick, which is firstly, two batches of 12 shows, which is only really a big thing for me because it means I still have like 9 shows to watch in addition to what I've watched for the night already. Plus, I'm gonna get to see the 3rd episode of one of our shows that we didn't watch yet. 2 of our shows. No, I don't know if Remain's on the other podcast.
Is it not?
I will get to watch the 3rd episode of Battle Game, though.
I don't know how they didn't pick Sunny Boy for that podcast.
I can shed some light on that once we get to Sunny Boy.
I don't know how.
It is important to note, because I haven't mentioned it yet, we have a new guest with us. We'd like to welcome Mason to the podcast. Thank you, Mason, for joining us.
And no one knows because you don't have name tags up yet.
Yeah, I dragged Mason in
Right
because they're like, hey, Dodge, we need someone else to add, and I'm like, got you. So I brought up Mason. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, Dodge from.
I don't know at what point Sean grabbed my power rings because I changed mine like 3 times recently.
Well, you'll have to tell me if it's right or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if you had the correct Aquatope Peach Boy one.
Bruh.
You'll see.
And the Dungeon and Battle Game one.
You just tell me.
Yeah, you showed them for a moment.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. We'll get to that, though.
So
Mason,
beforehand,
before we get into Wonder Egg, Mason, talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what kind of anime you like. Because most of our viewers, the 5 we have, including you, know what the 3 of us like, particularly being that Dodge is our slice of life romantic rom-com boy. Michael likes fucking anything on the planet and refuses to ever kill any show on this podcast. And I guess since Jackman's gone, I'm more shonen action slut who's left on the
yeah, we lost
on the
Jackman and Dylan.
Yeah, so really, I'm the only. As far as I know, I might be the only person left in the entire podcast sphere who likes action, unless I'm being proved wrong.
You're gonna be proved wrong. So
We like action.
I like action if it's there.
So my name is Mason. I know Dodge, this guy, this dumb idiot.
It's Flip, but yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, there you go.
There.
No, other way.
You actually have it the right orientation this time.
Okay. So, anyways, I know him from college. We did drumline together.
Yep.
As for what I do, I'm currently, broke 20-something. I don't need to go into my job, but I do have a lot of experience in the anime industry, funnily enough. I have been going to and working for cons. Been going to cons for 12 years now, and I've worked for one of the largest conventions on the east side of the Mississippi this is going to be my 6th year, I want to say. Yeah, 6th year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked for a few other ones that are around here that are a bit smaller, one that's now defunct. But as for what I like, generally I'm a shonen action slut. But I also am really big into horror anime. I like things that will make me cry. So John has
thanks to me.
Oh,
Thanks to me.
I've seen your power ranking. We're gonna.
That's a weird number 12. I saw your power ranking. Sean showed it for a moment.
Michael has words for you about what he expects and what you've put on a number 12 this season.
Hey, hang on, guys. I can tell you why. He can't cry if he's asleep.
Exactly.
We'll definitely have
to
talk about that. But I will say you are by far the most qualified, potentially overqualified person ever to be on this podcast.
Yeah. A little bit.
But without further ado, we can talk about things we've been watching, which I haven't done a good job of finishing other things that I should be, or keeping up with other things I should be. But I did, and we talked about this briefly, but didn't say anything. We all of us who are here did watch the Wonder Egg special, and we refused to say anything because people on the call hadn't done so. So, if you're someone who hasn't watched the Wonder Egg special, spoilers inbound as the rest of this stream will, and I was also gonna tell you don't. Just don't. I think we all share that opinion.
Please don't. Please, you will be a happier person if you just don't.
Yeah.
The most frustrating thing about it for me is that it was marketed as the conclusion. They just might as well not have said that, because I might have been a little less upset if they didn't market it as an ending when it very clearly is not.
They didn't do. They didn't.
And then they put at the end at it. They gave you at the end.
They didn't wrap up literally anything.
And
then they introduced more dumb plot points.
And I'm so upset because I feel like everything introduced. I feel like if it was done the right way, I might have liked some of it. But I also feel like the way they did it, it definitely felt like one, the author of this original work didn't know how they wanted it to end, and secondly, that whatever they came up with for this special, they must not have realized butchers the characters they've written, which is one of the best things about Wonder Egg, because I think every character's entire motivation, everything they've been through up until this point kind of all gets shoved out the window in this special for no good logical reason. I can't even think of it.
Everything's okay now, guys.
But it's also not.
Everyone's alive. It's okay.
We're just gonna swipe right over Girl's trauma. They should very clearly still have.
No.
But karaoke.
Here's what they did with the special. They're like, we're gonna take all of these good characters and plot points and push them to a different world.
I think I think the Nehru twist could have worked if at any point in the original 12 episodes it hinted at it. Because I really didn't feel like it was there as much.
So,
the idea is that she had like no emotion the entire time. She was always the least
the
emotional.
Nehru twist was the only good part about that. That is a sick plot point.
It's a great plot line. It's the ideal way to
that
take
happened in like episode 8, and we ran with that. It would have been great. So
they did hint at the Nehru plot twist because of the fact that they even said like she doesn't have parents. The only thing she had was a sister, and her like friend was also like a test tube.
That's true.
Like baby, so it was hinted at. I have to give it credit there.
I just don't feel like the way they were building Nehru's character makes it make sense for her to go, yeah, I'll relinquish my body potentially to this devil girl. Like, that's the part I don't really like about it. The idea of her switching places with her sister, fine. Like, I think that's in character and works.
It's not even switching places, though. The other people are just back now.
Well, yeah.
Right? So, like, her coming back, she didn't just, like, switch bodies. She just left to the other world, to the other plane, right?
No, I didn't mean, like, physically. I didn't mean, like, they swapped bodies. I meant, like, she left, her sister went in.
I was just sitting there like, what is going on? This entire special, nothing happened. And then they're just like, whatever. Oh well, this sucks. My friend is an asshole now and doesn't know me. Like,
I mean, I also don't think that that's inherently bad. I think them coming back, not having emotions, is a very fine, or not having recollection, is a very fine ending to that objective. Because
and then they're just like,
I think the lesson
way, your best friend tried to frame teachers for sexual assault to get them fired.
Yeah, but I think that plotline as a whole gets very mishandled.
Okay, so like, I fully recognize that they kind of painted Koito out to be a terrible person before then.
Yeah, anyways, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't matter because of just how poorly they handled it in general.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that's like, cool, Koito comes back, like, would be fine, especially with the way everything handles, if it felt like Ai's growth stuck. Because, like, it kind of sticks, and then she just decides, after standing up and going, I'm not gonna abandon Nehru, what does she immediately do? Abandons Nehru.
The end.
Oh, the person who I told their best friend that I was gonna go bring them back just called me? I'm gonna chuck my phone out the window. I don't... And then have a change of heart, like, however long after the time skip that happens that we don't need to have happens. It's frustrating to me, because there's so much good in this show, and it was already hard enough for me to justify telling people to watch it with how much of a content warning I have to give, especially past episode 8 for people. And a lot of the content warnings I would have to give now also don't feel justified to needed to have happened in episode 8. It's just, it's a sorely mishandled mess in my opinion, which is unfortunate.
It's just like fucking like End of Evangelion, where they just like run out of budget and couldn't pay the writers. Like, that's what I felt like, dude. The shows I have that are rated at the same level or above this show is outstanding, and the special is so low rated. I think I gave it like a 5 or a 4.
The special so low.
Yeah, I think I gave the special a 4, and literally the special brought the rest of the show down from a 7 to a 6.
I hated Sing Yesterday for me, and I rated that at the same level as I did this show.
I rated Osamake and Full Dive at either the same or higher level.
I rated Osamake higher than the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of things I don't like, and I think by far I would put the special below it. It's hard for me because I haven't decided how I want to rate the actual show yet, because like, it's very difficult, and there are very few shows that don't have an ending that I rate highly. I think probably the only one I have is like No Game No Life and Soft Tennis Boys. I can never think of its actual name.
Stars Align.
Stars Align. Yeah, I have Stars Align really high rated. And this makes me really happy that Stars Align didn't get like a movie special to conclude its show, because it definitely wouldn't have been able to do it. I mean, this to me was a sign that Wonder Egg probably should have got a second season, and they probably should have just, no pun intended, not count their eggs before they hatched, and like just held and waited to see if they would have got a second season with budgeting. But they decided we needed a special that also apparently maybe they're hoping they get a second season out of, because it kind of felt like that was what they were going for. But I don't know what you do with it. I don't think you have enough for 12 episodes.
No.
You know, the only thing I've seen for the ratings is that people either absolutely hate it, or people go, oh, it's just setting up for a sequel. Well, the show doesn't feel like it was designed to have a sequel post this point.
Problem. It doesn't even feel like it's setting up for a sequel. Like, it put like at the end there.
But that also doesn't feel right. It feels like we should have like DLC content where I fights Nehru in a death battle. Like, I don't know.
Oh, they still haven't dealt with Small Demon Child.
Or any of the Demon Childs.
Yeah.
Or the
They
girl
just
problem.
left them. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, the entire thing is we're trying to solve this girl suicide thing. But they go, we can't solve that by doing this, or something. And the show ends. What?
Oh, man.
It's
so
definitely
dumb.
I've debated and probably will at some point put out a video essay about my comprehensive thoughts on Wonder Egg on the channel at some point, because boy, it's one of the shows that I do really like going back to and talking about after it's done. There are a couple of others I want to do that with that I think, for similar reasons, Michael, God, please go finish fucking Babylon so that I can actually talk about Babylon on this podcast at some point and my thoughts on it, because I have very similar thoughts about Babylon as I did Wonder Egg.
Interesting.
But for different reasons.
How does Babylon fuck the end of it?
Yeah, that's
Babylon
a very good question.
episode 7 is an amazing episode.
Do you like the United States government, Michael? You don't have to answer that on the podcast, but just keep that question in the back of your mind, and then that might be how Babylon tumbles a bit. You have to watch it, dude. Babylon's ending's insane. But other things I watched, I made a poor decision on Wednesday to watch an entire season of MasterChef. It's not anime, but I did it. I had a good time, but I should have been watching anime. I also took the dive and the sacrifice. I watched the first episode of Nighthead, 2041, a show that I expected and fully believed was going to be a mixture of Scar on the Praetor and X-Arm, and it's actually better than both of those, hands down. Its CG's a little bit
it's actually not that
much,
bad.
Guys, it doesn't say much.
Yeah, no, but
you're not setting a high bar.
It's a very low bar.
If I had to pinpoint a show that I looked at and went, danger, this is going to be X-Arm, Nighthead felt like that, and after watching the first episode, I might continue to delve into it because it's interesting. I'll say, as a sci-fi show.
Me so much that it was going to be that just by appearance, but the premise is so good. Please be good.
Oh. Yeah, now I just have to worry that two of the shows I'm watching for the other podcast, Chief Pharmacist and Mother of the Goddess's Dormitory, are going to be the shows that'll be those. Because I fully expect them to be hot garbage when I watch them. Have you guys been doing anything? I've been doing video
Um,
game wise. I've been doing randomizers. So I was messing around with the Sacred Stones randomizer, which has been atrocious but also hilarious. And I've been messing around. I did a playthrough of Aria Sara randomized because God, that game's amazing.
You can go ahead, Mason.
I have been watching Haikyuu. I finished the first season. I'm currently on the second season. Need to continue watching. It's really good. I've also been watching original Naruto.
Oh,
I'm
good.
in the middle of Sasuke retrieval arc.
Ah, good. You're almost
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, exactly.
Silly
We
I know,
to
ignore the
say.
90 episodes after it.
Halfway through the show, I'm almost done.
Are you
Um,
skipping filler in
Oh, yeah.
Shippuden?
Oh, I'm
Oh!
not sure.
You
I'm
should.
not sure about.
I think
should,
Shippuden's filler's good. There's some that's bad. I think pre-war, almost all Shippuden's filler's okay. Like, way leagues better than the original's filler. But that's
You're
just
saying
me.
words. I just watched the fights. I don't know.
Okay,
Are
fair.
you
Um,
telling me that the filler arc, the post end of original, where they're trying to hatch a bug egg and Naruto farts on it, isn't the greatest thing ever written?
You just said words. I don't.
Excuse
It's
me,
great, because it's one of the only
So
filler
they're-
arcs you get to see Shino.
Yeah,
They-
so
they treat
Chino
him
has a
real
bug
well.
that upon smelling a thing will go towards the thing it smells. So what they're trying to do is have this bug smell Sasuke's headband to find him. But right as the bug hatches, Naruto farts into the cage, and then it's just attracted to his ass.
It's great.
God
Original
damn it.
original Naruto filler is wonderful. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You should watch all the episodes.
No,
I legitimately do think the last filler arc of the original Naruto is good because it's sand arc stuff, so you get to do some stuff back with Gaara. And if you're gonna
Okay.
watch the Shippuden filler, one of the characters, and she even appears in some of the non-filler stuff. One of the characters who's decently important in Shippuden because they're like Gaara's student in a way. They get introduced in that filler arc, and it's a pretty solid one. You get to see more of the Sand Ninja, which is the only real good reason to watch it. And
Yeah,
it
fair enough.
leads right into I think the actual episode you need. So like, that's my recommendation. But I also have bad opinions about Naruto.
Fair enough. Um, as for video games, I've been playing Omori, which is that's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game.
If anyone is interested in RPGs that are a lot like Undertale, but like way more adult, check it out. It essentially is if you took Undertale and mashed it with Doki Doki Literature Club and then made an RPG out of it.
I have a really
So-
fun RPG recommendation for you guys. Once you're clear and ready for another one, because I have a very good mother-inspired RPG that Michael watched me play
Yeah.
all through first year of university, and I loved it. It's Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass. It's a great story-driven RPG. And its soundtrack's incredible. It's also super fucked up, so there's your warning.
I
Yeah.
watched that speed ran on GDQ. I'm not sure.
Oh, they might have actually. That was like last year or something.
It has the best character, Punch Tanaka, who does what his name implies, just like Johnny Knives, who also does what his name implies.
Yeah, I've been playing and watching some stuff. I finished Bravely Default finally. Bravely Default 2.
Ooh,
All 3 endings.
no one's
'Cause there's
talked
3 endings
about
in the game.
Bravely Default 2 around me.
Very good. It's fun. If you like Bravely Default, if you like Octopath, if you like those not too hard but pretty full RPG styles, they're good. It's fun. It's a little challenging at times. But yeah, I like the Brave default system. I think it's really good. I think the combat's interesting enough. The classes are fun. There's cool things you can do with like multi-classing and stuff. Or the jobs, not classes. Yeah, I love those Octopath like old school JRPG style games. The chibi aesthetic really nice, and the like not quite pixel art like art. I like that better in Octopath, so that's why I'm looking forward to Triangle Strategy. But
I hope
we'll
it
see.
keeps the name so bad. I hope they don't change it.
They do the exact same thing they did with Duck
Mhm.
Game, Goose Game. Outside of that, been playing a lot of MLB The Show, which is like baseball Madden. I'm a baseball nerd. It's fun. But yeah, I played most of that when I was up north for Bravely Default. Yeah, played a lot of card games. Went on vacation. It was nice. Got sunburned. Still peeling on my shoulders a bit. So that's fun.
Ooh.
And what did I watch? I finished Osamake, finished Full Dive. I caught up with Naruto Sun, finally,
I heard it's
boy.
good.
and that's a show.
That's
It's,
fun.
I
it's
heard
something.
I heard it's really good right now.
Yeah, it's really good when you have Naruto and Sasuke fighting and like no one else.
True.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's like if you like original Naruto, congratulations. His son's just a more broken version of original Naruto.
Mhm.
Cool. And all the stuff going on there is interesting, I guess. But I don't know. I'm just in it for like the fights, I guess. It's just interesting to follow when they do stuff. Like the Chidori is still the coolest jutsu in all of anime. You can't convince me otherwise.
I don't know, man.
It's pretty cool.
The Rasengan stuff gets kind of crazy, and I like some of the shit
Okay,
they
the
do
Rasengan
with
stuff
it.
is crazy, but just like the original Chidori was like one of the
I mean,
coolest
yes.
like jutsus you ever
I mean,
saw.
I think the Rasengan was really cool.
if you weren't
until
sitting
they
there as a
started
kid
doing the Boruto
this,
Rasengans.
I don't know what you were doing.
What was that, Michael?
I think the Rasengan was really cool until the Boruto Rasengan started getting added, where half the Rasengans are just fucking giant spirit bombs.
Not
Look.
anymore. That's Naruto. That's not Boruto.
Look,
Boruto has
Conrad.
like
No, but it's all the ones that happened in Boruto.
I-
In original Naruto, he never did the fucking spirit bomb
I'm also
size
trying to
ones.
keep my mouth shut because I was gonna say
I
something.
mean,
but
giant
it's-
Rasengan's fine, but
Yeah, Giant's
Um,
interesting.
I just think it's dumb that like he's allowed to like do things Naruto only did after years of training with Jiraiya, like changing the chakra nature of the Rasengan.
Yeah, he just accidentally does the Rasen Shuriken.
I mean,
No, he actually like has purposely added nature change to his Rasengan.
I mean,
No,
to
but
be
like at the start of the
fair-
series, he accidentally does a Rasen Shuriken essentially.
and has enough control over it to like ultra compress it. Like it's actually stupid how like broken Boruto is, but at the same time super garbage compared to Naruto as
to
a
be
child.
fair, he is a
What?
prodigy.
That's
and
great.
is the child of two very powerful ninjas.
And the fact that he
and
doesn't have a Byakugan makes
most-
it really fucking stupid.
And most people, from how the show explains it, understands chakra nature and chakra control. So it's just more. I chalk it more up to Naruto's dumb,
Naruto was an
and
idiot.
the author didn't feel like writing anything to do with chakra bullshit in anywhere for 80% of Shippuden. That's how
No,
I
issue
view
is-
it.
No,
The issue
is
but
they
writing
never
that writing, that's not
implemented
saying
that.
Naruto's dumb. That's saying Kakashi's also dumb.
No, the
Because
writers
the
are dumb.
Chidori is a failed electric Rasengan.
I mean, yeah, but
The Lightning Rasengan.
true. Okay, to be fair, yes, the Rasengan is a separate thing. But let's move on from this conversation. Michael, what have you been doing?
I've been playing Sea of Thieves and watching them actually. It's the only things I do.
Oh, I did play a little bit of Hollow Knight too. Only a couple chapters though. I think I mentioned
Mason
last
had
time.
a thought.
It was just a quick thing. Have I sent you, both you, Sean and Michael, the how the entire plot of Naruto was actually Hiachi
Ugh.
just trying to get Hinata and Naruto to bang?
Yes, I've seen this. You didn't send it to me, but I've seen this.
God,
Okay.
that
I might
have
thread
seen
is
something.
so good.
That
it's
thread's
so
really
stupid.
good.
It's so
Really
dumb.
fucking-
Speaking
Naruto's on our side now.
speaking
yeah.
of things that are really
yeah.
good,
Let's come together.
we have great opinions here on this podcast. So good opinions that I promise you we're all on the same page this season. You don't have to worry. It's gonna be just like the past two, where there's a very clear bottom three across all of our boards. Where there's definitely not. Oh, hey, look at that power ranking. Huh? That's an odd one. That's a. Let's take a minute to take that in there for a hot second.
Oh, I gotta take a screenshot
I-
of this. Okay,
hold on.
okay. I go for the top down. Let's see what the top down is. Okay. Sean has bad taste. We're good. That's fine though. Okay.
Hold on,
Uh huh.
I gotta
Uh-huh.
see this.
Ew.
Oh,
Sean,
I know
Sean,
mine.
your power ranking
Uh-huh.
looks like you took the top two and then the rest of ours, jumbled them together, and flipped it upside down. Like,
Yeah.
like
it's
me-
gonna be
me,
interesting to
Michael,
talk about.
me, Michael Mason are pretty close together for a
You
lot of our
have
choices.
you have some differences of opinions as well.
Oh,
Honestly, yeah, my anything below my top two is arguably very much shuffled from the rest of you. Although, to be fair, Dodge, you and I have a very similar opinion about one of the shows that isn't my top three. It's just I have it higher than you do. And
What is your
I'll
top
ex-
three?
I know my big thing that I'm gonna make you mad by saying this. I almost had Sunny Boy lower, and we'll talk about this
no,
and why.
I understand why.
And
I
also,
totally
and
get
also,
that.
the Aquatope higher is probably the bigger issue you have with me this season.
No. The girlfriend and Uramichi Oni-san is the issues I have with you guys, but we'll get there.
I'll talk about them.
How-
Oh, you're gonna be surprised at some
Sean,
of the
how
things
the
I have
fuck
to
did you
say.
put girlfriend at 10?
Because you heard my thoughts about it after I watched episode 1, not when I watched episode 2 and 3.
Me, Michael, and Mason all have the same exact brain
Yeah.
cell on this one.
I know
Yeah.
it's you.
Also, your text, your fucking, the text is on screen. And it's not right, Sean.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I am both Michael and Mason currently.
I am
And
no
I am
one.
currently
Mason is
gone.
Oh
Josh.
yeah,
Sean,
I
you're
hadn't
correct.
I hadn't organized those yet.
Because we share
let's-
the brain cell. We share the brain cell over
Let's do
these
this
lists.
very quick. I had not organized that yet. Those are just left over from being scribbled. I'll have to do it when we go to our next screen, of course.
I thought for sure Mason was gonna put Venus one.
Let me.
No. It was really tough, honestly.
Honestly,
for me.
anything in my top 5 could be anywhere in my top 5.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We get to talk about Aquatope right away, which is gonna be
That's
fun.
gonna be the fun. That's what I was
Um,
expecting.
And we get to end on Sunny Boy, which I think is
Oh,
great.
that screenshot
Oh,
is
God.
dirty.
What? I don't know what you're talking. I just feel like we have important things to talk about when it comes to the show and some of the plot lines it might be going for. So
pull up my
Aquatope,
notes.
the Aquatope on the white sand. So it is purely slice of life, which might explain some of your problems with it. Because things that usually only have one tag can sometimes be very boring. I could agree with that. I don't think this show does that, but that's not my place. Michael, you picked this show particularly because of the studio behind it.
Yeah, I picked Aquatope because it's a PA Works, and it's the same director, I believe, director as Iraduku: The World in Colors, and I'll say they're essentially the same god. They have very similar things with them. Like, it's the biggest thing is like the scene where they're sitting in a place and the world spins around them with fish. Literally, almost an exact scene, but instead of being just a fish in Iraduku, it's colors. I don't know. So I went into the show expecting it to be a PA Works slow burn slice of life, like all of their slice of life are, where it's just characters existing and interacting, and you enjoy them interacting. Not a lot of. It's just like a general like, here's a slight issue, that is kind of a general driving force for what characters do, and then they exist. And this show does that. You have an aquarium that's going to close. People are sad about it. They're trying to make the aquarium not close. And the show's going to take 24 episodes to do that.
See,
So
that's
it's going to be slow.
That's
the
where it's gonna
issue.
lose me.
Yeah, it's a slow show, which is... I didn't realize it was 24 until like 3 days ago. I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah, I didn't realize that
this
until I
is
started
slow
watching
boy.
it. So the issue I had with it, if I can jump on the train here, is that I'm not sure how long Aquarium Tycoon can hold my interest, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, we're gonna like, and I feel like the dead sibling plot point is gonna be really, really awkward really quickly and take up a big part of the season, because she's gonna be the sister she never had or something, right? But like, it's just one of those things where it's just like watching it, like it's visually really great. It's really pretty show. I like some of the aesthetic and the visuals of it, but like, again, how much of just like watching them work at an aquarium can I watch? You know, of like, oh, she's a city girl who tried to make it big, but now she's living in the countryside at an aquarium with, you know, the person who's trying to save it. It feels like this would be amazing as a movie, but like I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it as a show.
Welcome to PA Works.
Yeah,
That
this
sounds-
PA Works things, they're all just slow. Slow
I'm-
burn slice of life.
I'm very much in the agreement of like, if this were a movie, I would be like 110% on board. But like, as a show, like I was falling asleep. I was literally falling asleep during episode 3, and like, it's fine, but it's not my kind of thing because like I want my slice of life to have something else.
I
I just
really
want mine
like.
to have romance. That's about it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, this is gonna be a show that's afraid to do romances, no matter how much they dangle all the possible romance options in front of your face. I like the first 2 episodes of this show so much that it's as high as it is. The 3rd episode for me definitely is a blander one, and one that I don't. The best I think it adds is by introducing this little plot point about the sibling, and also like additionally layering on the character flaws for or I don't know these characters' names.
Kukuru and
Yeah.
Fuka.
I know the
Yeah, I
one. I
don't
know
know
the
any
other one.
character
I know
names
the
today, by
other
the
one's
way.
Fuka. I know Cap, and we'll talk about Cap when we get to Sunny
Oh,
Boy.
yeah.
He's
We
the
know
only
Cap.
character I
And
remember
know-
the name of.
No, I remember Raj. That's not his
Well,
full
yeah.
name, but it's Raj.
I mean, I
Raj.
remember Vanitas and Noe.
Yeah, true. There's a couple that are easy this season, but
I wrote down some of the ones I care about.
I like Fuka a lot more than I like or other main girl, personality wise for sure. I also really do think that her plotline is much more engaging to me than the other main characters is, which is a little problematic. But I'm also very interested in Fish God. I think this Fish Child God, I'm really excited for it to ever be important. It could be. Maybe.
Her dead brother?
So one thing too, I agree with you. I like the Idol Girl way more than Aquarium Girl, because Idol Girl's entire character is just she is too nice. She is way too fucking nice for her own good and puts everyone else before herself. And I think that is a good both character and flaw.
But she also said, "Fuck my family, I'm going on a vacation in Okinawa."
No. She said, "Fuck my family," because my family's trying to force things on me.
Yeah.
No, absolutely nothing wrong with what she does, but she does literally just abscond for a while and not tell them anything. Which is understandable.
Because she knows if she did, then someone would come and get her.
Yeah. No, I understand her reasoning for sure. I just think it's really funny because exactly what Mason said describes her too, but also it really does feel like the first half of the first episode is her going, "I'm gonna take a little vacation on my own." Which is nice. I really enjoyed the opening of this show. One thing that's, I think, consistent across this season is all the OPs and EDs are bangers.
Oh my god, dude.
Again,
2021
soundtrack, dude, amazing. Also, every show this season feels like their episodes are longer than 20 minutes, than 24
Okay,
minutes.
that's because
Whether that's a good or a bad thing.
That's because four of the shows had like an hour longer, 45-minute first episode.
Even then, I watch some of these shows and I go, man,
it was awesome.
I'm still going. There's a show that I think's doing a really good job with its pacing.
Can we regulate? Can we like stand and regulate shows getting 45 minutes on the first episode?
I don't know about that.
Good.
I don't know about that.
So good for setup.
I don't know about that.
It's so good for setting up a story, right? In most cases,
no, that's because you didn't like the first episode of Detective.
Yes,
that's fair, and that is completely fair. That is like the one show that I didn't like it with, but like shit, like remake Our Life or whatever. Excellent first episode.
Yes, but it also is very. You could have very clearly cut that in two as well. So like, if a show needs it, give it to it. Sure, I agree.
But if you want that instant like hook on somebody, giving it like writers and like designers a full 45 minutes to try to get you entertained on a show is so smart and it's so good.
True. It sucks for the podcast is all I'm saying.
Because that made me want to watch that show so much more right after I saw the first episode.
No, I agree.
This is really, really good.
Yeah.
I
watched part of Remake early. Like, I was watching that earlier today, and I had to stop like right near the end of the first episode to go do something. And I was like, fuck, the entire time I was away, I want to just watch the rest of that goddamn episode and then get back to the show.
But back to the show at hand, Aquatope.
Back to Aquatope.
I think on my list, it's in that bottom area right now. I think I put it at like 10 or 9. But like, as I said, like anything from like 7 to like 12 can kind of go in any order down there.
My entire list below from anything below 2 and above 11. 5. Anything below 2 and above 11 can honestly shuffle for me. It's very difficult for me. I know that's a boring answer, but like it's too early for a lot of these shows for me to make hard draw on because I like a lot of them.
Fair enough. My one thing that I made a big note of, and y'all ever seen John Mulaney's special New in Town?
Yes.
Okay, so my big thing for episode 1 was just I'm gay, I'm an ex-idol, and I'm new in town.
God, it's so. How does it feel to know that these two characters feel like they are the perfect lesbian ship, and then also to dangle this boy who looks like he's straight out of a Lull in the Sea, and just go, hi, he's the romantic love interest that is very much not there to just
Isn't it crazy that the only hair color in this entire town is blue, by the way? Or a variation of it? Your hair is either blue or purple, that's it. No blondies allowed.
I actually really do like the side cast for this show a lot, and I really want to see more of them too, because I think I think Udon-chan is gonna be great if she does anything besides being a waitress behind a bar.
Also like shipping those two together.
Yeah, I also really like or blonde hair boy in the shop who's afraid of women because he's probably gay.
I love him so
He's really good. I want to see more of him.
Like, give me the romance between the two main characters and Kuya and
New Girl?
and Strong Boat Boy.
Oh,
Strong
come
vocal.
on.
Give me the Yuri Yaoi that I love.
Look, this is the season to be by. That's all I'm saying.
It
I don't know. Last
Look at
season
a
we had
couple-
the motorcycle club.
True, but I mean, there's a lot. We'll talk about some of this in other. I think I want to do a thing for this first episode. Every show, I want us to identify our character who we think is the most sketchy of the cast for that show. And in all honesty, I think it's our main girl. I think she's gonna cause the most problems throughout this entire season.
Oh no, she's 100% gonna be the biggest like problem causer.
But that's
in
the
terms
kind of character arc,
sketchy,
that's the kind of character type she
I mean,
is.
the obvious answer for sketchy is the fucking people who are trying to
loan
like
sharks.
sell
The loan shark?
shark.
I don't think they're coming back, except for maybe
No.
a
Right,
singular
but you just asked
conflict
who
in
was the
episode
most
14.
sketchy from the first three, and they were definitely the most
True.
sketchy.
This makes more sense for later shows. This is probably one of the harder shows to do it for.
Yeah.
But there are some characters who I look at in some of our other shows. And I go, man, I don't trust you further than I can throw you.
I will say I'm impressed with the shows we picked this season.
I
This
think
was
we have a
general
good
thing. Like,
selection.
this is by far the
Agreed.
hardest week one I've ever had.
Yeah,
this season.
absolutely. This
Like
was
and like
really
it's
tough.
only gonna get worse. Like the lowest rated show I think of like in terms of like current score. Which by the way, why are you scoring a show you've only seen like 2 episodes of? That's really dumb.
Mhm.
But like for
What-
people
yeah,
that have
why-
scored
why are
shows
we
on
doing
any
that?
list, like the only low score is like the lowest one is girlfriend at 64%.
And I have a feeling I know why that is.
And it's just because people don't like trash.
Well,
Like, and that's fine.
I was gonna say it's because it's Polly, and that's why people don't like it. But
Oh my god, we'll get there.
We'll get
I
there.
have- I
We'll
have a
get
thing
there.
for that.
I will say something about that too.
Michael, Aquatope's your show. You picked it.
I mean, I just wanted to add, you guys, the way you guys are talking, like Sean, the thing you love about this show, watch Hanasaku Iroha.
I know you
Fucking
talk
do it.
about it a lot.
It is literally
What
this
is
show, but
Hanasaki
it's dumb.
Iroha?
It is a show about a girl who her mom sends her to go work at her grandma's inn, and it's a 26 episode show of her just working at the inn.
Michael
it's-
really likes PA
I
work
don't
stuff.
understand what made me love the show so much. It might just be the fact it's 26 episodes with a very consistent cast that is
Well,
just well written characters.
I know why I like this show a lot because it's got yukatas in it all the time. That's a pretty big
Well,
dub.
true.
That's a pretty big
But
dub.
Michael, that's not Aquatope. You picked Aquatope. How do you feel about
But-
it?
I mean, I explained at the beginning.
I
I
know.
enjoy Aquatope. I don't love the show. I can understand that. I think there are better shows currently because Aquatope's a slow show. There are going to be shows that will very much look better early.
It surprised
And I
me
don't think
because
Aquatope's gonna hit its big points later.
it's 6 on your list, and I'm actually surprised at some of the shows, particularly one of the shows you have above it.
I
Because
have it. I switched it to 5 and put Detective at 6.
okay,
Ugh.
that makes a little more sense. I'm still surprised at how high you have Peach Boy, but we'll talk about that when we get to Peach
We'll
Boy.
get
I
there.
guess.
You mean the Joran of 2021 summer?
I disagree, but we'll talk. Oh, beautiful! Oh, I'm so glad we get to do this one so soon.
Oh my
So
god.
This is a show.
So
Ugh.
the battle gave him 5 seconds. Oh man. There,
Oh, you, Sean. Good
I
show.
really need a 3rd episode of this show.
So how'd you guys like seeing what Mr. X did after Resident Evil 3?
I'm very sad, and this is by far my biggest problem. Michael and I made this joke watching episode 1 together. My biggest problem with Battle Game is that they didn't kill this asshole episode 2. 100% should just. You've already explained that you can knock them unconscious, have them surrender, or kill them.
Or
You've
murder.
You've shown us dealing with one without killing him. We don't need this man alive. Slaughter him.
Yeah.
He deserves it. We all know it. We all want it. Like you talk about her power scheme like
Sean,
she's
you didn't
gonna
make a
be.
voting sheet.
You're,
You didn't
it,
send
it's
it.
made it. I haven't sent it yet because I kind of want to talk about
Okay.
this season first.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, with her power too, she could literally punch a fucking hole through him.
Yeah, but apparently not because you can't punch a hole through all the wall. I already know one of my
Some
issues
of the
with this.
walls.
One of my issues with this show is gonna be that it's
Its
the
own
way
rules?
its rules are gonna be dumb as fuck. Which is
Yeah.
kind of why I like it because I really do get back arrow vibes from the my ability is. It's very
my
powerful.
God.
I like it a lot.
Okay.
I think this show is really dumb, but
Oh yeah.
it also has like. I said this about Saints last season where I was like, it has early 2000s fantasy vibe. This has early 2000s.
But this looks like early 2000s.
Yes.
This looks like
So-
early 2000s Yu-Gi-Oh vibes, dude.
This to me
Talking
is
about
like,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
to
We'll
me,
get there.
this is like this is the dumb shit of like early JoJo stands, and I'm in if it continues to be that way.
I want to give this show a little more time. I have it really low, and as I was doing the list, I was like, I don't want to put Battle Game low because I want it to have its third episode. I want to watch it. I know it could be trash garbage, but I don't want it to go week 1. And every time I looked at another show, I went, well, no, it's better than Battle Game. I have to put it above
Battle Game is just so bad. Okay,
Battle,
okay.
I just want Battle Game's like the most forgettable show this season for me.
for sure.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how to explain that.
It's
It's not
so-
forgettable. It's just
It's so generic,
forgettable.
like meh. It's just meh.
The
So-
worst part is this main character. It could very easily fall into the. I'm gonna say his name wrong, Michael.
the Kiritoast
No,
character.
um,
No, he's talking about
trope?
Ayana Koji
Thank
from
you.
Class of the Elite.
He could very much fall under that character type, except he talks a little too much, and he's not quite at that level. And we have some other
He's got an
characters
ego
this
that's
season.
bigger than me playing League of Legends.
Yes, so does the main character of Assassin of. Well,
Yeah, but that guy actually is like a Giga Smurf Chad.
look, this man.
This guy plays a lot of video games.
This man sees words. Which I will say, I really like how I imagine that's a manga panel thing, and it looks really cool in the manga panel. It looks a little dumb here, but I like the adaptation of having the words floating around, because it makes me feel like I'm watching a House of the Dead
No,
Overkill
that was just for the
playthrough.
second guy, wasn't it?
No,
'Cause
they
he could
have it in
smell
the first
He could smell the
episode.
emotions, I thought.
In the first episode, our main character, the Sophist,
Sophist, but it's okay.
I'm gonna say
Try again.
Sophist. It's
Try again, please.
I'm a communication student. You would think I would get it right.
Yeah, and I'm a psych major, and I can't even analyze that brain.
But like in the
Also,
first
is-
episode, he sees words as he's traveling. Like he sees thoughts and words go as he's thinking through things.
I
So
did
like
not see that at all, and I watched that episode twice.
I'm pretty sure it was in the first episode too. I don't think it was
so.
just
I think it was.
with the-
I think it was just Creeper guy because
I
he was
didn't think it
smelling.
was just
He was
him.
smelling. He was smelling her current emotions.
I
That's why
like
it was,
some
like,
of the
loading
dumb
hate
shit this
rage.
show does. I don't want to vote it off this week, and thankfully for me, there's a show I dislike more than it still. But I don't know if I'm slaying this show because it is probably bad. But I do also want to see the third episode of this
Well,
podcast.
Sean, I'm gonna put a slay on. I'm just gonna say that now because I did make a promise while we were watching episode 2 that if he doesn't die, I'm
That's
slaying
true.
the show.
You did say if they didn't kill him, you were slaying the
You
show,
know what?
and that's entirely fair.
I made the promise.
This is the bottom of my list, so you know it's being slayed. And here's why. First episode, first question. Where's he getting all the fucking rope from?
Right?
Second off, how did he outpace the guy in the
Pulled it up his
building?
ass.
This guy was literally running on his ass with a bicycle, and somehow he gets 3 floors above him in the building? No. And then, like,
No,
the
no,
main
this man's a
character is
D&D
too...
kid. He has 50 feet of hempen rope in his backpack.
This main character is a D&D character, because he's broken, shattered. Like,
Every
okay,
character
this feels
in
like...
this
This character
show
feels like...
is from another show. None of these
Episode one-
characters are original.
No, episode 1 feels like Home Alone the anime, right? And then, okay, the only thing I liked about this show is the Sophist ability. I think that is insanely cool
Mhm.
as like a design
yeah, I think
concept.
it's really fun.
Okay.
As like a show itself, I'm worried it's just like a God of High School thing where it's just
So-
gonna power scale through the fucking ceiling. Like,
To me, what this feels like is like if you took Danganronpa and threw JoJo stands into it.
It gave them powers more than just ultimates.
This
Yeah.
is Darwin's game if it was written 10 years ago
Yeah.
as well. But no,
And
seriously,
made in 2021.
every one of these characters feels like they are just pulled from another show or manga. Like, I could name another character
And
who
we say that a
looks
lot,
and
but,
plays
like,
the... No, this one's really good. Like,
this one's really bad about
Hey,
it.
Can I just say too, one thing that really pissed me off about this show is quit fucking cock blocking us on what the ability is when
yeah, no, it's bad.
you've done
It's not an interesting
Ah,
ability.
This person, I see you
Okay.
watching them. Their
Hey,
ability is cut to black. Ah, yes, that's why they're
cut to
interesting.
black. They cut to black 4 times on main girl's ability.
Mhm.
Like, you don't need it.
Her
It's
ability is
quintuple her
super
strength.
strength. That's not
No,
special.
no, her ability is quintupling her physical abilities. That includes like strength, speed, movement. In theory, it should include decision-making reaction times because your neurons could fire faster physically, but that's a whole nother science
No,
debate.
it's not gonna go that deep. I have bad news for you, Dodge. This show is
Oh, I know.
This show is already going. One of the things I will say about the show, and I don't usually like using this word to describe things, this show is fucking edgy. Because the second episode of this show is needlessly dark for no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
Captain Rapey and her backstory of being abused at home by her mom.
And her creepy stalker, who she can't help but not want to die, but also...
Who pulls her off
maybe,
a fucking building. Also, hang on, dumbass. Maybe you don't get on the other side of the railing. Why are you doing that? Who does that?
I don't know why she went on the other side to get him.
This show's so bad. I really want to see the third episode, though. I really just want to see if they pull anything out of it. I knew this show was gonna be bad when I picked it.
This show's just real goofy.
Speaking of Vanitas, suffer is all I can say with this show.
Okay.
Suffer.
Dude,
Alright.
I will move on whenever we want, but if we have other thoughts about Battle,
I think Mason's got one more point.
No, I thought we were moved on to Vanitas.
Oh yeah, we can.
I think we're ready
Mason,
for Vanitas.
Mason, congrats. This is looking like you might have a win coming your way.
Banger.
Okay.
Because let me
Banger
say,
choice.
I am the
First
most
time
confident of this show out of every show in the season. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So like, I went in watching this trailer and being like, this is gonna be like edgy horror vampire trash, and I'm gonna like it because action. And then I watched the first episode and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then we got to episode 3, and then the horror came in, and it was like, oh god, what is this show even doing to me?
The
Also,
Ooh.
OP, best opening of the show of the season.
I like it a lot.
It makes an argument. It's so hard to pick one though.
The OP
Yeah.
is
Necrai
amazing.
Talkie has one on here, and I love their band.
I love this opening because it makes you go, oh, I now understand the character dynamic. And then the whole first episode goes, no, you don't. Silly you. You think he's
No.
the super serious, edgy one. He is edgy, but oh boy. I love these two. These two might be some of the best main characters we have this season.
It's just such a good character
Dude,
dynamic.
Episode 3, where he almost just like he brought that girl to her knees. She's a fucking like
Bro.
she killed 1,000 vampires on her own with that hand, and he's just sitting there with the fucking suave like, you know you want it.
This
Like,
season
no,
does get
I-
needlessly
Oh!
touchy on a couple of
It's
our shows.
Really kind of rapey.
It is.
He's like, I know this might seem bad because I'm kind of rapey, but I'm a human. But I'm using my authority as having the Book of Venus to do it anyways. Like,
I think that one of my biggest issues with that scene is he doesn't need to do it. He has no reason to do it. He's already in control of that
purely
situation.
it's purely for himself. He didn't even tell him what the plan was so he could do this because he's like, I want to see how far this goes.
So like
And I was all in on that. I thought
I
that scene was fucking amazingly done in all the right and wrong ways.
So I like it in terms of a character building standpoint
Mhm.
because that shows you exactly the kind of person Vanitas is, but also it makes me like Vanitas less because
Yeah,
of that
for
exact
sure.
reason. Also, just like I am more than okay with my main character just being a dick. I love that shit.
Mhm.
But there's a certain line, and like the lip lick was not needed after that kiss. We did not need that.
It's very similar, and I'm gonna compare these two shows a lot, and I don't know why. It's very similar to some of the scenes Lelouch gets with Colin, where or just some of the scenes Lelouch gets where he gets a little too touchy. But even then, those are the scenes where Lelouch is like at his lowest. So like, there's a little more justification there. I think what makes me draw those comparisons is the fact that at the end of episode 1 we get and I killed him, which I don't know how much I believe that statement yet, because he could be referring to the other Vanitas, Vanitas inherited the name from. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if we wind up killing one of our main characters in this show. This show feels like it could do that.
Something very important about this show, everyone, and I must emphasize, everyone is hot.
Yeah. No.
And also, most of them are JoJo's characters.
Yeah,
But-
they're like
Not everyone.
get-
One of them was a child. We can't call it hot. That's illegal.
okay, the thing that that I like draw parallels to with this show is weirdly enough, JoJo's Part 4, just because their dynamic reminds me so much of Josuke and Okuyasu. But like if Josuke hated Okuyasu. And that's all I can see it as.
There's so much that I think is interesting about this show, from its premises to its story execution. It does a really good job of like integrating the characters' pasts really well. It is drawing on like already pre-established power sets that vampires have that I think are really cool, and they're dividing it by like family bloodline in neat ways. Like as soon as he was like, "Yeah, you handle this," I was like, "Oh, cool. He can be memories by biting her neck," and then they give the last name. I'm like, makes sense.
Oh,
This show's great.
also one thing I had to put in my notes was after seeing the whole Crimson Gauntlet thing, all I could think of was, okay, so when is it going to shout boost at me? Boost.
Dude, this show's just sick though.
Finally,
Like,
a good vampire show. How long has it taken?
Okay, Mars Red was good.
I have to get back to Mars Red. I've only
dude, this
seen
show
the
does
first episode.
vampires.
Look, teleporting
So
vampires,
well.
it's just so good.
I
This
need
shit
to
does
watch
vampires
Mars Red.
so well though.
Considering
Like,
our last vampire experience was Joran on this podcast, and then before that was Noblesse, we haven't had a
Yeah.
very good track record with the supernatural.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm optimistic for the show though. I think it's got a lot of potential to get like continue to be really good. And even if it's not, it sure as hell is going to be entertaining.
This
Like,
show's gonna
even
strictly
if
be
it
popular for
becomes
all the
an
fan fiction that
incoherent
comes
mess,
out of it.
Everyone's hot and it's super entertaining. Like that Benita scene, he gotta chill, but like at the same time, like, hey, he's going in. Like he has clearly made it known he's here to do what he wants when he wants to, and whatever it takes to fix this vampire issue.
I think
In that order.
I think Mason and I are on the same page with Phineas. I really like his character outside of that one scene.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm interested to see what they do with it in the future, because I can't imagine, with the way this show is, they did it for no reason.
Yeah, like everything has had its purpose.
Oh, I think
so
he's
far.
trying to goad her into like do fighting for him.
Well,
Like,
yes,
basically.
but I have...
Well, yeah.
My biggest worry is I don't like female characters whose story arcs are... I've become sexually interested in this man simply because I am a woman. And
Yeah.
that's what this feels
yeah, for
like.
sure.
It reminds me of Dungeon Boonies,
Oh my
with Belt
God.
Princess, and I hate her character.
Oh my
And I
god,
really
she was
like-
so good until she wasn't.
And I really like Janine, right? It's something similar to that. Fucking
Jan.
French, dude.
Jan.
Fucking Noah,
Jean,
which
I
is
think.
just Noah,
It's just Jean,
because
yeah.
they make
Yeah.
the arc joke.
Yeah, exactly.
The historical tag on this show throws me for a fucking loop. By the way, for
Noah, the architect.
for our viewers, the asterisk on the genre tag here means that there's more genres. I just couldn't fit them in the line, so I generally chose what I felt were the most representative genres so far, or the ones that I felt described the show pretty well. So
Yeah.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
like
my
that.
favorite part of history, airships.
Yeah, right?
yeah. Well, that's where the fantasy element
Right.
comes from. This show
Also, the
beautiful.
vampires, maybe? I don't know.
Also, bro, man, the Link to the Past fucking vampire realm,
Yeah, that's
That we
sick.
get-
I'm so in on it.
Dark World
Alternate
Paris.
Worlds are really cool.
Also,
Worlds
I'm
are really
down.
cool.
That like quick thing, that like hand drawn bit at the beginning where it's explaining how Vanitas became Vanitas was
Really cool.
so cool.
Also, the villain, right? The overarching, like, antagonist, like,
Yeah,
this
Jesus
curse.
Christ.
The charlatan parade.
He is so terrifying.
Okay, so I was not ready when they were like the Charlatan Parade. I'm like, cool, it's just a weird name they're giving it because they're doing that kind of thing.
No,
and
it's the Black Parade.
It's a real fucking parade. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're doing this now. I see.
Yeah,
Now,
almost
when I
scene
was
of
a
her
young
Emma
boy-
in the parade, when she almost stops by the light post, and the camera's only thing, the camera turns literally 20 degrees, and he appears in frame. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, no, that
No,
got-
Nightmare
I wasn't
Fuel,
ready
yeah.
for that scene.
This show has very. This show also gives me very much D. Grayman vibes, which I always vibe
Exactly.
with, and I love
How
that.
much-
Yes.
How much wake up screaming are we gonna get this season?
Um,
Oh
I
my
was
god.
literally You said that, and I was literally like, the next thing I was going to say was, it reminds me so much of the evil group from D-Grade.
And they're fucked. That group's incredible. I love. There is no moment in anime that stands out to me as being as unnerving as when Road sings the Lord Millennial song, the Millennium song, because it's so chilling. They do such a good job of that. I love D-Grade, man. I have to rewatch it.
I need to go back because I got really bored with it originally, just because I got stuck on the Miranda arc, and that's boring as shit.
Dude, but when I was a young vampire, my father, he took me into the city to see the Charlatan Parade.
Hold on.
We got a lot
I
of...
can serve you again. Okay.
We got a lot of interesting backstory to dive into with these characters, and more importantly, I need to see more of Mur, because he is a wonderful cat, and I want to know what bullshit he can do, or if he's literally just here to be emotional support, in which case I might need him.
Yeah, same.
I also like the characters they've introduced too. Yeah, they're really good.
They're all really cool. All these... I don't... So, the orange-haired informant who works with Vanitas, have we even gotten his name?
It's
we did in like the first
episode,
episode,
I believe, or something like that.
I think it's Baldy.
He reminds me a lot of the supporting cast of the Dante. Yeah, Dante. He reminds me a lot as a supporting cast character from Tower of God, who's with the one princess who just carries the bag.
Oh, yeah.
Very similar.
I know
energy,
exactly what you're talking about.
And they look kind of similar, and that was the first thing I got
what's her name?
From
Jean.
Them. Yeah, whichever one. Yeah.
Or Jean, like the black-haired one.
Jean.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I like her.
I think this show's incredible. Once again, Bones putting in mad work.
Let's go, Bones!
Always. It was just Studio Bones.
Dude, like, going off a studio is, like, almost the safe bet. Like,
it really is.
It really is.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Hey.
Are we ready to... do we want to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
I
can
guess
be an interesting one.
Another one by me.
Yep, this is also you.
Tell us about Detective Mason.
Boy gets kidnapped and put on a flight with an attaché case and sits next to a pretty girl, and then flight attendant says, "Hey, is there any detectives on board?" And pretty girl says yes, and then he gets pulled in to be a sidekick, and then fucking Tokyo Ghoul happens. Then we just ignore that.
Yeah, Parasite's my favorite anime.
I like the part where they kill off Best Girl and then don't kill off Best Girl because every other girl is gonna have a piece of Best Girl implanted into them.
Yeah, like Idly Pride.
Let's not talk about that, dude. that was a show. Okay, but Idly Pride didn't immediately go, yes, but new character to the troop has her heart, and new character to the troop has her eye, and the other one has her right leg. Like, here's my thing. If this next character that they introduced has one of her eyes, and are they going to introduce a character who has the other eye, and they'll meet each other, and they'll fall in love, and we'll call it love at first sight?
That's not why the eye's covered. The eye's covered because that's what they're going after. The idea is that her eye's going to be blue.
Is that the Lady
the sapphire.
Love at first sight thing?
So, my biggest problem with this show is that this show's a lot of genres. As a comedy, I don't like its comedy. It does not hit with me. I don't like the deadpan delivery jokes. There's too much of it in the first episode, especially being a 45-minute episode.
I like the back and forth of that, but it's not done very well in this show.
I thought him and CS, the bantering with each other, was
great.
Okay,
I do enjoy some of their stuff.
Here's the thing. A show that does that type of bantering with like the deadpan comedy back and forth, the one that does it the best, Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah.
By far. That is some of the best banter, like, flirtation stuff ever. CS is just kind of a dick.
Yeah, as a comedy...
Every woman is a dick to the main character for no reason.
As a comedy, I don't like it. As a mystery, I really don't like it. I could follow and guess almost all of these major mystery plot points before they happened. It's really bad. Yep. And some of them you're meant to. Like, you're meant to know the bunny's the bad guy. Are you meant to go, oh, they're gonna turn this corner and there's gonna be a bunch of people in bunny outfits? No, I don't think you're supposed to.
There's no way you don't expect that. That's like the most common trope in anything.
But like you expect it because it's a common trope, right? And this show leans so heavily on the mystery common tropes that I'm not a big fan of it. Michael, you were in there with me where when I spoiler messaged Michael, I went, okay, so the person or new girl's looking for is him because she has her heart. That's where we're going with this for the next
Sean sent
10,
it to me. I was
15
like,
minutes.
okay, so Sean, you're thinking. I'm like, so you're thinking that she has her heart,
And I was
he's
like, keep
you got F,
going.
and I'm like, so he's person X.
I'm like, yes, correct. That's what they're going to do. And I even told him, I was like, and they're going to Bat because Bat can hear the heart and know it's hers. Like, this is bad. I don't like when I know these plot points.
Okay, I wasn't paying the most attention to the show. I was watching. I don't think I was watching this episode with Mason. I think I watched the first episode.
You didn't watch the first episode. No, you did watch the first episode with me.
I watched the first one on my own because you were catching up something else, I think.
Yeah,
then,
but
like,
I was still in the call.
I was still
in the call.
We were in the call, and literally, like, I'm watching the show, right? I'm watching it, following, like, okay, she's dead. Yeah, we get it. Dexter's already dead. Haha, funny joke. And we start episode 2, right? And then she mentions, like, the memory, like, transition thing with, like, limbs, and I look it up for 2 seconds and go, wait a minute. She's got her heart, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I paused it about 3 seconds into this character's introduction. Went, she has the heart, doesn't she? Yep. All right, cool. But shout outs for Siesta. Good being an organ donor. Sign up your organ donor cards. It's good. You don't need it when you're dead. Just saying. But yeah. Sorry, Mason. Go ahead.
No, continue your thought because I'm gonna kind of derail it a bit. So.
So some of the things I liked though. Shout outs to the show. They had actual VTubers as announcers, by the way. Those are the actual voices.
I didn't know this. Wait? Michael had to tell me because I don't engage with VTubers.
I recognized the characters, but Mason went, "Is that Fubuki?" I'm like,
"Yeah, I saw Fubuki."
Think that is a VTuber.
Hold on, what?
Yeah, they're both actually credited in the cast as their VTuber names too, as themselves in the
really
show,
cool.
and their characters are their actual characters in the show. I think that's cool.
We're literally just sitting there, and I'm just like, "Wait, what the fuck?" He's like, "No, what is it?" I'm like, go back like 10 seconds. And he's like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "Is that fucking Fubuki?"
Because I was half paying attention through the show. But one of my biggest gripes with this show is that it feels like they're literally just like completely substituting Nagisa as a character to just force Siesta into the show. And that really sucks because, again, I've talked about this on the podcast before. The number one thing I care about in a show is its characters. And I fucking hate how they're doing the characters in this show. Like, it just feels like you just wanted Siesta in the show, but you had to kill her for the funny title. So we're just going to shove all of her into this character and just make that the character. Except she's going to like the guy at the end. That's it. That's basically going to be it. Like, it's such a frustrating show that has, like, a pretty cool concept. But, like, I don't know. It's disappointing with what they're doing with Nagisa. I feel like she's getting super cucked by, like, Siesta here.
So I have 2 things. The first one is, it's just a nitpicky thing, but it really bothered me that I had to write it down, was why does Nagisa not have a scar from, art surgery? And then also
just has her boobs out all the time, always.
Yeah. Also, something that I guess can be explained, but like still kind of bothered me was like, so Bat couldn't kill Siesta, right? Why doesn't he kill main character? Like at any point?
It's not important. It don't worry about it. Be too convenient.
Well, he doesn't kill main character because he doesn't care enough to kill main character. There's no point for him to do it now.
Main
but back on the planes, like, it doesn't make sense why he doesn't kill him.
Main character is literally half the reason he's in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's been in jail for like 4 years.
He didn't know that was gonna happen to him, and like
he's been
already
in jail
kind of lost.
He's also been in jail for 4 years, and like they've clearly interacted with him multiple times since then.
And I think the on the plane explanation is he's already lost, and the idea is Siesta doesn't plan to kill him, and if you kill or supporting or main character who's the support, he gets shot by Siesta and dies.
Also, he was canceling crashing the plane because he wanted not to die.
Yeah,
that was his whole point here. So now he's in the safest spot for him possible.
Yeah,
in prison. Enough. So he's just chill. Like, he's not actually a bad guy. He was just in he was in the Yakuza, bad Yakuza,
Some other things for me is that what's saving this show for me is I really like this main male lead. Because removing Siesta...
He's the only thing I like about this show.
Removing Siesta takes him from that you were a supporting person to you have now grown in the... I don't really like time skip. I really wish we actually would have seen some of that. I think some of that's neat.
I would like to see some photographs or some know like some way to show they've worked together instead of just like they worked on this one mission. She died. At the end.
But like I think his growth's really interesting, and on the contrast, the fact that Nagisa's there to be Siesta but not Siesta allows him to go, you're not being a detective, right? You're too emotional. Like, our main character lacks the emotional aspect which is why he can fill Siesta's role as the detective. And Nagisa's there to like be that contrast. Whether or not that's a good thing for either of the characters, I think it's too hard to see for me personally.
How did she die and still be an organ donor? Did she get by like a fucking car? Like, if she dies on a spy mission, there's not a fucking chance her body gets back there in time to be an organ donor.
We still don't know
what,
how.
When she died, they threw her in the cooler. Like, what? Like, come on. They're traveling around the world, and it happened. Like, did she just have like a heart attack? Like,
I really hope we get to see the other 5 of the detective tools. And,
Yeah,
and also
same.
see the 6 and also see the boots that we didn't actually get to see. We just have to
yeah,
believe
we
they
have
were there.
skeleton key and the boots,
Yeah,
right? And then the gun.
boots.
We have 3. We have
Is
3.
the gun?
The gun.
Was
the
the
gun's
gun
one.
Yeah,
one?
the gun was
Okay,
one of
so
them.
okay, we have 3 of the 7. That's neat.
Made with her bullets with her blood in the. Okay.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about that. Don't worry about that.
Fantasy. Fantasy.
No, it's just Fate Zero.
So when does Nagisa get the 7 tools? Because she can use them because she has the heart, so she has her blood, so she can use the tools.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the idea that her heart gives her the blood, which is what causes her to not be hit by the dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's
Michael-
fine.
Michael
The problem is
pieced
I don't like that
that
Nagisa
together
is no
before I
longer a
did.
character because she has the heart. Like, she's so emotionally driven by this heart that she can't become a character herself. It sucks.
Yeah, I think Nagisa kind of blows as a character.
It's not
She
Nagisa.
just-
It's fucking Siesta's fault.
Michael
I
likes
enjoyed
Siesta, so he's
Siesta.
gonna blame Nagisa.
I
Also-
thought Siesta was a really fun character, and I was really annoyed when she wasn't there anymore.
I agree, but it's still her fault that Nagisa's ruined because it's her damn heart.
I think
True.
I need more time with them to see exactly. I think I like this main character because he feels like a Nanakoji, and I like that character archetype.
Yeah, and a Koji 8-man, Hyoka main character.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, you've seen those AMVs too. Yeah, they're good.
No, I watched all those shows. You kidding
Oh
me?
well, yes, me too. But there's AMVs of specifically those 3 characters.
They're all dramas. Like, of course I watched them.
I think
but yeah,
this show has potential, but I have to. It's losing me on the things I should be liking about it, and winning me
Yeah.
on the things I didn't expect to. So that's
It
an
lost
odd
me
point.
just in terms of like how it's ruining the other main character, right?
Hey,
like,
she's
and then-
listed as a supporting character on my end.
and I think that's fucking fair. That's actually so fair. She listed as a supporting character here. No, she's considered main, but she's actually below Siesta in priority. That's just sad, dude. Fuck you, Detective is dead. Did you have anything to say about it, Michael? You didn't talk much about Detective.
I mean, my big thing is that I enjoyed Siesta a lot in episode 1, and then
Yeah.
did not nearly like any of the other characters that we met in episode 2 nearly as much.
Dude, man, I loved Siesta in 1, and like the entire time I was watching this, I'm like, this character's great. I love this character. This character's fantastic, and she's gonna.
I'm like,
fucking
wait, the
die.
title's called Detective's Already Dead. When does she die?
I just
Yeah,
assumed she
and
had
it
like
is-
died in the future, and we were doing time travel bullshit. I don't know. I didn't know
And
what
they
the show
glossed
was
over
gonna
it. I
do.
thought that would have been cool if it was like Plastic Memories, where like at the very end they kill her, you know?
Or
See,
Angel
I
Beats,
assumed
yeah.
it was going to just do a
Man.
fuck it, what was the show called?
Da-da-da,
Wandering Witch kind of
da-da.
thing after episode 1, where it was
Oh,
just
where it's bad
them
for 11
doing
episodes?
missions together.
Where it's bad for 11 episodes.
You
but
mean what
looks like it could
Vanitas
be
is
good?
doing, where it tells you that one of our main characters is going to die, and then you still see them until the end of the episode where they die.
Yeah.
There's too much of this season.
The
There's too many-
foreshadowing, per se.
A lot of our shows just went, we're gonna hook you episode 1 by telling you the end of the show. I think one of our
Yeah.
shows is doing it really well, and it's the same show that I think is really good pacing. I'm really excited to talk about it. It's not next, god damn it.
Nope.
But we still have 2
Oh,
of
next
these.
we get to talk about this thing.
What do you mean, Michael? You
Dungeon.
picked it. It's a Silver Lake show. Silver Lake shows aren't
what do
coin
you mean
flips.
This thing! This thing is great!
What the fuck did what has Silverlink done?
A
I don't
lot.
remember.
Disappointing. is what
Isn't
it's done.
Silver Link? I want to say they're Konosuba, but I don't think they actually are.
That feels like Konosuba with the animation, actually.
But like I want to
Yeah,
say it's
there are
like
things about-
Konosuba. It's the same. They did the animation for the other show with the gun that is by
I'll
the
look through
Konosuba
some of the
author.
shows while you guys are going. Let's talk to us about this a little bit, Michael.
You're gonna call it
this
mate.
show
call
is
it by the name you wanna
the
call
biggest
it.
disappoint. I mean, I like to call it Make You Black because I think Dungeon of Black Company just sounds really goofy.
Oh, the studio did
Um,
Villainous. It did Beaufry.
Yeah, it's a really
Uh,
solid studio sometimes, and other
It's
times
done
they
some
make
good
this.
ones. It did Two Car.
this show, I think I had it at 11 at one point. I had it switched with Battle Game, but then I was like, nah, I'm gonna just put Battle Game at 11 because whatever. These two are essentially just the same piece of shit. Dungeon just annoyed me. As I was binging all my shows today, when I got to Dungeon, I was like, I just don't want to finish this show, but I did it anyway. I got through it, and there's a reason Uramichi's at number 12 because I had the same feeling, but we'll get to that when we get to life lessons. This main character sucks.
He's meant to suck.
Can't. No, but like, there's a good asshole, and then there's him.
True.
I dislike
No, you're
everything
right.
about him.
That's fair.
And I don't like the side characters anymore. Rem ripoff character bullshit with Rim is a one-note haha funny Kana ripoff. And our lizard man is
He's just nothing.
he's there.
He's just there to be like dragged
He's the
along
only character
the
I
story.
kind of like because he's a normal person, kind of.
He's just trying to live his
And we
life, man.
just-
What's up?
We
man?
didn't need tentacle rape, especially on the lizard man.
I felt that was I did enjoy that scene.
I
I thought it was
like-
funny that it was a dude.
They're doing it for the parody, and
Awesome.
which is why I think it's good, because he
Yeah.
even says it. Our main character's like, why are we doing this now? What's going
We
on
didn't-
here?
We didn't ask
We didn't.
for this.
No one wanted this.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I've talked a lot. I'll hold my thoughts on this one
Okay.
for a bit.
So I have to disagree about the main character, but that's also because I love stories that are based that the protagonist is the villain, and I see him as that. Because
Anti-heroes.
he's not even an anti-hero, he's just a douchebag.
Yeah, true.
And
He's
also,
literally
like,
a redditor.
also another thing too, the OST for this show is the best out of this season in terms of just the backing tracks. They're fucking amazing.
They're very RPG aesthetic.
This
I
show's
like it.
ED slaps
Yeah,
real
it does.
hard.
I don't
Just the
remember its
opening.
OST
When
at
they're in
all.
the little
because I was
bug-
just
they're in the little
not having
buggy.
fun watching it.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different show's ED. This show's OP
Dude, this
I
show-
really like though.
This show makes me feel like how I felt about Full Dive, where it's like it's like kind of trashy, but like kind of enjoyable trash, but at the same time I know it's absolute dog shit.
I
like-
love this show's premise. For me, I'll be honest. I think this is a
I like
really
the
cool
idea.
idea.
I think Stonks is a cool idea.
Give me also, just give me more isekai where it's just generic RPG classes, please.
You guys know what I just
Honestly,
realized?
I
This
love
guy,
it.
this guy's actually just that fucking meme where it's like level 1 misfit
Level
versus
level
level 50
100
mafia boss.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just paying to win. That's what he's doing. Like, he's just trying to scheme the system.
What I like
Like-
so far is that it hasn't worked for him. Like he's kind of making progress.
It
It's
works, and then
very
he just
slow.
gets sent back down to
Yeah.
zero.
And like, I don't know. I will be the person to say it. Fuck capitalism, man. This is a really good show to get that point
Literally.
across. And like, the problem with saying he's the villain is that like the society's the villain here, and the people in charge of the corporation are the villains.
No,
But
capitalism sucks.
but he's also a bad guy because he's not like down with the entire system. He's like, I want to
He's trying to abuse
be.
it for his own game, so he doesn't have to work.
He's
So-
literally like, I want to
He's
be.
like, I
want to
be the one abusing the system.
Literally, one of my first notes for the show was just, "Aw, late stage capitalism, you shouldn't have."
My favorite scene is him fucking workers rebelling the worker ants. It is so good.
It's so funny.
Like
It's so
everything
good.
about that
It's
scene is
literally just-
incredible.
He's just starting an ant union. It's amazing.
And then we get the first half, episode 3, and I don't know why we're there, and I hate the first half of it,
Yeah,
and it's garbage.
I liked the last minute and a half of it where the island
Yeah.
blows up and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we use drugs to avoid brainwashing.
It's
Yeah,
a really
speaking-
weird episode, though.
Hey guys, I
thought
like
I felt like I
don't
missed
you?
a post credits at the end of episode 2 or something.
Nope.
I was
Yeah,
like,
me
this
too.
just feels like what?
Well, we knew he was getting a promotion for how much money he was bringing in, but like it looked like he was about to like start an uprising underneath the company, right? And then suddenly is now in like District 3. I thought he was just gonna stay underground, and then like create a monster guild and then like take over the world or
Which
something.
he is doing. He's still trying to. That's still our plot
Yeah.
point.
You know, he's still abusing the monsters, so like just
He's gonna get another
get
monster
demonized
next
for him.
episode. It'll be great.
I mean,
he just got one this episode. The waifu bait hero.
Are you
Look.
guys ready for the Stockholm syndrome plotline with her?
Here's the
At
thing.
the opening
Uh-huh.
shows.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's.
I'm
a
not
fucking,
excited
like,
for that point, but yeah.
Are you ready
Oh
for the
my
part where like she could just kill the guy and then destroy the photograph and problem solved?
She's too nice for that.
She's a fucking hero, but she
The
also
only-
just like she
No,
gave
but he also works for the company. So
she
why would
gave her
kill
friend
him?
his friend a pat on the back and knocked him out for a week. Like,
The only good thing that could come from that character's interaction is if she starts to realize that maybe the corporation's bad. But even then, like, I can't. But even then, even then that character's gonna be ruined because she's gonna view her. You're right. It's gonna be a Stockholm syndrome situation,
Okay.
and it's gonna suck.
would that be a
Also-
Stockholm syndrome?
Stop.
Also, this show had arguably one of my favorite lines out of any show this week, and it was, "Wait, no, you can't die. There's no insurance if you die."
It's really
That's
good.
really good.
It's really good. Like-
That's definitly up there with Vanitas's when Noe says it. I just realized, frankly, I just think I don't like
Like you. That was really good. I watched Trinitas
Don't
really
kill
early
dogs.
in this set of shows, so I did forget that line, but it's so good.
I watched this
Can
one
you-
really late.
I watched. This was my last one that I watched. I
The
was
first
watching
one
it
I
too
watched
late.
was Realist Kingdom.
We'll talk about it.
Wild.
What I like about Dungeon of Black Company is that it has that nihilist, like, everything sucks kind of humor, but there's also other things going on here. And I'm saying that because I purposely think this is better than another show we have on here that has similar humor beats. We'll talk about it, Dodge. I know you're gonna be mad at me
I know.
for it.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
I don't know what
that's
you're
fine.
talking about. I just want to say, like, it's so funny how, like, this is the only show where we all rated it, like, bottom 4 on all of our lists almost. Okay, bottom 5 on everyone's list, right?
Yeah.
And yet we're talking about it like it's a top 5 show.
Well,
It's
I
the
think
weirdest
I think
thing.
it has
It
good
has
potential.
good bits.
It's
like-
so weird.
Like,
It's so,
there are
it's like,
there are
we,
things
we,
that are good about it, and then
we all recognize this as trash, right? But it's pretty enjoyable trash at times. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, it fits that, like, isekai, like, trashy, enjoyable niche that just, like, tickles your fancy a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, shoutouts
Like-
to isekais for just going, we've done this bit enough. We can just jump right into it. I'm real
What if
happy.
we just isekai into capitalism?
Yeah,
What, isn't that
twice.
just
This,
reality?
Twice
Yeah,
this
what's your
season.
point?
Congrats.
They're like-
We have 2 shows that are doing the opposite side of things
Yeah,
on the
but, like,
isekai economic standings.
okay, dude. Okay, yeah, but one of them is like a really like, this is really cool, like dynamic of like, you know,
We'll get there.
actual. Like, it's like wow, it's like a fun little like tycoon game for your kingdom, and the other one is like down with the system, except for unless I'm at the top of the system, then go for the system.
I really recommend everybody check out Wednesday's episode because we are gonna be watching. That group is watching Black Company as well. And let me tell you, that group's gonna be really fun to talk about Black Company with. Alex is like poli-sci history, really into like how like nations' economic systems work.
They're gonna be all. Do they have Realist Kingdom too?
I think we do, yeah. So we have a lot
that
of
one's gonna be the big winner.
we have a lot of interesting stuff that like we're gonna have very different conversations on that podcast. Is what I'll tell you. I think this show's gonna be a slam hit on the other side as well. It's like it's in an odd spot here, but I think, like I said, I think a lot of our shows are actually really solid. This is like the most batches of 7s and 8s I've given shows in a while.
This is
everything
the
feels-
most. This is a season where like we could just not vote something off this week, and I wouldn't hate it too bad. Like
I could compromise with that decision if we so wanted to.
we're not going to. We're gonna slay shit because that's who we are. But like, if we didn't vote anything off, I wouldn't even mind it. Like,
That's,
I wouldn't mind another episode of like forcing a cripple to play a sport after he got into an accident. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Oh boy. Hey Dodge, it's finally time. Talk about one of your shows.
Let's go. I get to talk more than I usually do.
Again, I
But
picked
girlfriend.
I picked these 3 genres because I thought these were the most important 3 genres of the show.
Okay, you forgot one genre. Poly.
That's in the romance.
So this is a show, where a guy and a bunch of girls slowly realize they're polygamists. Like
And they're
that's
all
what it
bi.
comes down to. They're all kind of into
All
it.
bi.
Like I this show is such trash, but it's the exact right kind of trash for me. And I am like simultaneously I hate that I picked this show, but but I also really love that I picked this show because looking at the list, I'm just like, yes, you guys. Well, 3 of us get it. 3 of us get it. We put it all at number 4, and then Sean's like, "This is garbage. Get it out of here." But like, all 3 of us were
not
like,
exactly right.
like me and Mason were watching this together, and we were like, 90% of it was just pausing for a second to just fucking laugh because it is so fucking hilarious.
Yes, I agree.
Like, this is how you have to do a trashy like harem show. You make it funny as shit, and they're absolutely killing it with that. And my only note I put for this is, why is this potentially the best show this season and almost in my top 3? Because we watched this like one of the first few I watched, and man, I love this shit. It's so funny. Basically, guy meets girl, and he has a childhood friend who he asks out, and he's really just bluntly honest and very like honest and just good boy. He's just good boy. He just wants to make everybody happy. Problem is, very cute girl also like him and ask him out. So he's like, well, I can't turn this one down, but I'm already dating that one. Let's just ask her and see if she'll just let it happen. And then they slowly whittle away at her morale until she goes, God damn it, she's hot too. Fine, we'll do it. And slowly just realizes that, wait, maybe I'm just gay. Like, half the scene, she's just like, listen, I get it. I want to do that too. But just like other girls just like, I'm just here for the guy. But like, whatever. And I can't fault the other girl. Like, she's just there because, like, what's the worst that could happen? The other girl dumps him and she gets picked up by the guy she likes. It's a win-win on the rebound. Oh, this show's funny. Someone else talk about it.
I want to shout out my favorite joke, which was him spending $1,000 on gacha rolls and getting 0 5 stars.
I literally said after that basic contestants, I was like, wow, I didn't know they had fate go in this universe.
No, he's playing Genshin.
No, he's playing Fate Grand Order. That has the shittiest drop rates.
My main role, or my main note for the show was just, so this is just if Ida from My Hero Academia figured out that he's poly. That's literally what it is, because the main character is just Ida.
This is just better Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Without the this motion constantly.
It's just better Rent-A-Girlfriend.
It's just better Rent-A-Girlfriend, except the guy has the balls to ask every girl out, because he might as well. Like, you got nothing to lose.
What's the worst that can happen?
He gets one of them eventually, right? I died the first episode of this show. I'll be serious. I watched this first episode, went, holy shit, I'm gonna make Dodge happy. I'm gonna like a rom-com. Because this main character killed it. When the OP played and and I saw the triangle, I was like, holy shit, it's gonna be Polly. This is good. We're not just gonna beat around the bush about the fact that, a guy likes girl also likes guy.
We're gonna do it under the table.
It's gonna fucking suck because no one's gonna win by the end of the show because no one can ever be happy in a rom-com.
Everyone's gonna win.
There's multiple people in a harem. And, this show has potential to be really good. I don't know what it was, episode 2 and 3. This was the last show I watched, so I might need to rewatch these, and I probably will give it a second shot rewatching episodes 2 and 3. The comedy just didn't hit as well with me. And, Saki is her name, right? The redhead?
Yes. Yeah. Saki.
Yeah.
She's wearing me down on liking her. And kind of I think that's the problem with all of their personalities, is they're so one note on what they're doing with them right now, that by the end of the 3rd episode, I'm like, can we do something different? I get it. I get it. Nagisa, the 3rd fucking Nagisa on the planet. God, there's so many of them. But I get it. She's cute. She's nice, and she'll do anything to not lose this man. That's her.
And we mean anything, including him.
Saki is tsundere to the max, who thinks this girl's cute and
she's a tsundere tomboy.
Probably a bi, but also sucks at doing anything supportive and feels bad about it. The whole end bit of episode 3 is a drag to watch, in my opinion.
That's fair. The window scene.
This feels like it's going on for too long. And
I'll say that's the only bad part.
And I don't think I could agree. I think that's probably the lowest low this show gets. And for me, it's just a matter of I don't know. It was hard because I wanted to put girlfriend higher, but I have things about the other shows I like.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then when I look at stuff, I'm like, it's really hard for me to have got the justification for how I ordered a lot of these. It's just a lot of this is potential for me, And this show's potential just by the end of the third episode felt like it could just drop, and I could not like it very quickly.
See, my logic was like he's such a good boy, and I
I
understand
agree.
that. But when she leaves and walks out the door, just take the W, dude.
Yeah.
Just take the win, dude.
He's a real man's man for being like, no, I was looking through your phone. It was me.
Oh yeah, dude.
He
That
really-
fucking
yeah.
that's fucking big dick energy right there. That is big simp energy. Like I don't like that everyone protects Nagisa, but at the same time I'm okay with it because literally everybody protects Nagisa.
She
Like
must be
if
protected.
it was just best boy or good boy, I would be a little bit annoyed because it's like, okay, you're just simping too hard for the one girl. This like isn't fair at all, which is what you're trying to do. But because Saki also simps for Nagisa, then it's okay.
I think
And,
this
like-
show immensely improves if we spend an episode or two talking about why they like him. Like we get a little more of that backstory get flooded in.
It's his dick.
They're childhood friends, right? Cool. Tell me a little bit more about why she said no to him for so fucking long and why she is here now, and then tell me why the fuck Nagisa likes him. Why?
We
think
have
they
like
did-
the tiny bit
I
where
think they
she's
briefly
younger
mentioned
with
it,
like the
yeah.
glasses on,
To
but that's
reference,
literally it.
I must have missed that. Again,
I like a
reference-
brief backstory.
to reference a show that John and I watched a couple months ago with one of our friends, just give us the baseball game from Morisuki.
yeah, no. Orisuke was on this podcast.
Yeah.
I liked Orisuke until
Don't
it
watch
really
the special. Spoilers,
until
please
it
don't
did
watch the
until
special.
it didn't. I think the special's fine. I
haven't
have a
watched
problem-
it yet.
I don't have
I
a
haven't
problem with it.
either.
We'll get there. We'll get there, Mason. Maybe tonight.
I will say that I think Orisuke's biggest problem is mishandles its supporting cast, which a way they could have not have done that is if they were just all poly. I'm just saying, the show already
just
has
saying,
the solution to Orisuke's problem.
Girlfriend has solved harem shows. Just make everybody want to fuck everybody. Problem solved. It's just orgy. Let's just have a
It
big
is-
orgy. And
It
fun
is
fact,
though.
all four of the girls were listed as main characters, so they're going to be coming in pretty quick here.
Yes, I'm wondering like how
that's
they're gonna
fair.
do these other girls. Like, are they all gonna like him?
I forget
Or,
what is
like-
the other girl. Is she like a singer or something? Or
No,
like
so the blonde-haired one's the Twitch streamer she's watching.
that's
Oh,
right. She was the
fuck,
Twitch
you're
streamer,
right. I
and the
didn't
other one,
realize that.
and the other one was the
thing
friend
is that
of Saki Saki.
So my big theory is that Saki is going to meet the streamer, and then bring her over and be like, "Hey, can she join this?" She's gonna initiate that one, and then the friend from the basketball team or whatever is gonna try to just jump in and be the
See,
fifth.
I think you have it the other way around. I think Saki's gonna bring her friend from the basketball team in because she's gonna realize that she likes him and be like, you know what? Fine, we're already
I feel
in
like-
this. I'm gonna support my friend.
No, here's how it's gonna happen, guys. As the rom-com expert, slice
Yeah,
of life
you
simp
got
over here,
this.
I'll explain it. So I can tell you how white girl is gonna get in here. The white-haired
They're
girl.
all white.
She's gonna start suspecting what's going on because they're best friends, right? And then she's eventually gonna figure it out in
You
like
have
some
to
big dramatic
integrate-
scenario,
you have to
right?
integrate
But then
her so
she'll
she
realize
can't-
he's a good guy, so then she'll be integrated into the poly harem orgy. I don't know about Blondie. They're just gonna happenstance run into her at school because of course everyone's gonna go to the school, right? But she has a mascot, so you'll never know who she is. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, and no one knows who Demon Dice is either. Moving on.
You can't say that.
Can't say what.
I mean,
great
Demon
artist.
Dice is just
She's a
Karen. Her name
She's
is
a
Karen.
great artist. Yeah, I love Karen.
Yeah, she's
Um,
just a rapper.
Yeah, girlfriend's great. This show's hilarious.
I like it. I don't hate
this.
this
Might
show.
be one of the best trash harems I've seen in a good while, and like I've watched a lot of them. I've watched them from like the old ones, from like Shakugan no Shana style old and like romance harem esque, to like the cheesy ones that make you feel bad like Sakura Sao, to the really bad ones like Zero no Takashima, whatever it is.
Tsukushima.
Zero no
Zero no
Tsukushima.
Tsukaima.
The
Familiar
four-part
about
one?
familiar
Really
with
stupid
Zero.
show, really horny show. This one might go near the top of them all. This one's really good. I'm firmly enjoying
Speaking-
Girlfriend, and I expected this to be like a like 1 or 2 week one off for the memes.
No, it's not. This is gonna be.
but it's
very
actually
I
good.
think.
It's actually good.
Speaking of actually good, Mason, how do you have only bangers this season? What's
I
your
know.
other?
So
It's detective,
I,
right? It's this
yeah, it's
detective,
detective,
and
which is
Detective
like
and Vanitas.
definitely my least good out of the three.
I could agree with that. Jesus Christ, dude!
Okay.
Talk
so,
about this show, Mason, because I have a lot of
Okay.
fun things.
So, show opens with dude. He's like 18. He's talking with his grandpa, who's talking about how death isn't that bad of a deal because his grandma just died. And then cut to grandpa's funeral. But Homeboy, our main character, he's taking it real well. He's still going to class and everything.
He's
Oh
chill.
no, we've been isekai'd. Good thing he's just a general, like, civil servant economics student who just happens to know how to run a country. And then the
He's played a lot of Civ. He's played a lot of Civ, Mason.
He's played Sim City is what he's played.
Shit, you right?
Um,
He's played City Skylines, all those games.
Yeah, so like he would give RT Game a run for his money. So this show is very good because as opposed to like the normal isekai thing of we've got to fight the big bad, which is the Empire, I guess in this case, or the demons. Instead, it's just like, hey, this is how countries in feudal times work. Like this actually matters because if you don't have a good military or a good economy, you can't fund the either. Like you can't fund the other one, and then your country just falls and you lose. And it's great. Also, the main character is just fantastic because he doesn't want any of this, but he's just good at what he does, and he is the epitome of I'll sleep when I'm dead as a character.
This is the Log Horizon of isekais, and I understand that sounds redundant.
That's a Log Horizon type.
But Log Horizon isn't an isekai, it's a trapped in a VR MMO, which I'd like to separate the two of those.
You're in another world.
Yeah, but I like to separate the two of them to a degree, because I wouldn't call
from video games
Log Horizon a traditional isekai.
It's a video game.
Right?
It's a video game.
No, it is, because they get trapped in a separate world that's based on the video game.
I will say, I think I made the exact same comparison to Log Horizon of like isekai that is really good at doing things besides just big bad and fighting and making characters OP. Like there is other issues present in other worlds that you have to like actually take into account.
I guess my point is this feels more isekai than Log Horizon does.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, like this just feels more like you're in a general isekai setting, whereas Log Horizon never felt like that to me.
Which is such a weird sentence because isekai literally means unknown.
Yeah, I know. It sucks.
It's such a weird sentence we just put together, but I know exactly what you're saying.
So one thing I really enjoyed was his whole bit at the end of episode 2 and all through episode 3 of if you are good at a thing, come here, tell me about it, and if I determine that it is helpful, we're just gonna use you.
3 Kingdoms, whoop whoop.
I love characters who are very objective about determining what is useful versus subjective.
Yeah.
And he checks all these boxes for me.
You might say he's a realist.
Character. Yes, crazy, I know. Also,
don't steal my thunder. That's all I gotta say. That's one.
Episode 3.
So
we have the picture right here, but also, it's very good that this feudal kingdom has a fucking spotlight in the throne room. Am I right, guys?
Yeah. Also, it's great that it has a way to somehow charge his phone and AirPods.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was gonna question that.
It's also
too,
great that she can understand the song despite him saying that only he can understand.
That was cool, actually.
No,
actually, that is an actual musical skill.
She can just repeat the noises she
hears.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's like famous singing. Like you can sing a Japanese song just by repeating the words, even if you don't know what the fuck it says. As long as you can phonetically pronounce the exact words and the tonation, and like the actual like.
Dude, I can sing the entire opening of Wotakoi, and I don't know what.
I do like the idea of it as that she's just so good that everyone understands the implications of the song without understanding the lyrics, because ideally no one else would know the lyrics but him and us, is from the way he explained it.
Yeah.
As someone who was out of the room doing something up north when I was watching this and just had my headphones on, I understood the meaning of the song. Because I've watched enough anime. I also hear go, go. And that's all you needed to hear. To know it's like, anime OP.
I really like this cast. I like what it's shaping up to be. I love this show's pacing. It's like perfectly paced so far, in my opinion, where it doesn't spend too much time on anything, like that it doesn't have to, and it does like these are going to be important people later, and it doesn't feel bad when they do it. Like I'm like, cool, good to know that he's
later on. They had a talk in his room and became his right hand man. Like I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you didn't have to show me it. Great.
It saves us some time. Like
also, the fact that they're using Lycia as a vehicle to explain things to the audience and it works because it's literally just like, hey, you're going to be the queen someday. You're going to have to know what this is about.
This show is the whole reason I wanted to do who is the most suspicious character in the show, and I stopped doing it because I really only wanted to do it for this show. Man, I don't trust her mother, and I don't know why. Her mother seems so sus.
Because she doesn't talk. Like, that
She just
bothered me.
smiles.
I get why. It's probably like because women don't talk in the court type thing. Because general politics of olden times, I guess what they're going for. But like, she seems like the most intelligent person in that room and doesn't say a single fucking word. And that bothered me so much in the first
that
episode.
man uses a word that I didn't even know, and she's like, by the way, honey, it means foolish. You're an idiot.
Viscomi or whatever.
I had heard vacuous before, but
Vacuous.
I didn't remember what
I
it
couldn't
meant.
have told you what I could understand from context clues what it meant.
There was a lot of words I had to Google in this season. Like, I think Battle Game had a couple too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, right, that does make sense logically. And then,
At least they don't talk about ennui, okay?
yeah, Realist Hero, really good. I like a lot of the characters.
Yeah, I think this cast is gonna be really cool.
Something important I brought up when I was watching with Mason. Can we get more Dark Elf anime characters in anime, please? Thank you. Just personal request.
Yo,
Thanks.
this is also a harem though. Why? Why?
I don't know.
It does not give that vibe yet. So I just imagine.
I don't know. Dark Elf girl kind of snipped immediately.
But true. But it's like
Yeah. I mean, Lycia kind of did too.
we're getting
Like,
there.
she
and-
hated him. So she hated him episode 1, and then she met him, and then she was like, "Wait, do you have a girlfriend waiting for you?"
If you have like a girlfriend or something, like I don't know, like
I'm really excited to see what we do with the three nobles, the three dukes, because they're the three plastered on this poster. But we also do have this far off kingdom that clearly has important characters who we weren't shown who they are. Like
Blondie.
yeah.
I'm very excited to meet Mountain Lion Man.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm just gonna love him.
I'm also really the good ending for this third episode. I like an actual like good cliffhanger spot with whatever this wolf child's telling us.
Dude, I'm
really
so ready to
excited
meet
to see what
Aslan.
this is. I imagine this could lead us into a little bit of
Insurrection.
actual action in the
I imagine
show.
it's insurrection in the kingdom.
Could be. The horses are trying to overthrow the government. I could believe that.
No,
Yeah.
but like they heard someone, like maybe they can't understand. Like who knows? But
Can't-
The
Can't
birds
wait
have
for-
told me.
the thing too is like Lycia being the vessel for understanding is so good, dude.
I
Like,
also
like you're saying, Mason. Like I think that is like one of the best ways to do it, and like they actually ration out all the reason why they're explaining everything, and also it makes sense. Like everything that has happened in the show makes sense, right? Like, yeah, sure, we could both in the military and try to fight back against this thing. First off, they're dealing with the monster invasion for us. Second off, why would we do that when if we do that, we can't feed our people, and then it would be easy to surmount a revolution inside
dude, this
and take
man,
over our own kingdom.
this man's just smart. He's like, I didn't sell everything in the treasury. Why would I do that? Some of that stuff I don't know what it does, and some of that stuff is historically important to your people. I'm not an idiot. I'm like, thank God, finally.
We can open a museum, put it in there, and make business
money.
for this country. Like, duh.
And they're like, what's a museum?
What is thinning, dude? Dude, she got so horny for wood so fast. Holy shit!
Michael.
What? You're just
I
gonna...
will say, I did slightly change this on my PR during this episode as I was thinking through things. I was like, by that I mean I'm pretty sure I don't have it at 7 on the one you have,
Yeah.
because I had it below detective, and for some, I don't know why I did that.
So you're putting it up. So wait. You also swapped Aquatope in Detective too, though, right? So is it like all the way up at 5 now for you, or at
No,
6?
it's at 7. Detective's at 8. Aquatope's at 5.
Oh,
Beach
okay.
Boy is still at 6.
Okay, you bumped. Okay, you put Detective down. Cool.
The show's really good. I'm really excited for it.
I love the supporting cast. I'm really pumped to meet the rest of them. The advisor boy gives me very powerful Soren vibes from Path of Radiance.
From,
And I'm like,
exactly.
yes, I'm
It's
ready
really
for
gonna
this
suck.
asshole.
It's really gonna suck to not be able to watch 3 episodes this week. Is all I have to say. This one's gonna be one I want to watch every week for sure.
For sure. I'm really glad. Context for the viewers: we were picking shows and we weren't gonna pick this show. It was gonna be my backup for if Fina fell through, which Fina fell through anyway, so we were gonna watch it no matter what.
Yeah, but then
But-
we watched this. We looked at the show and looked at all the cast of it and went, "Wait a minute."
We
Wait a
looked at
minute.
the cast, we looked at the crew, and we were just like,
we looked at the
Well, like
studio,
the only
and-
way this sucks is if the original author can't write a good script. And good news, it seems like they can.
Good news, so
Yeah,
far
no,
he can. He
like-
makes good characters too.
After we picked shows, I was talking to people about like what we picked, and a couple of my friends were like, "No, this is literally the best isekai I've ever read in my life."
Good. You know, I wonder if we mentioned to DJ if he'll know anything about it.
Maybe actually,
He
he's
might.
read a lot of shit.
He's read a lot of shit, and he's a big isekai junkie, which is the reason I'm thinking that. What the fuck's next? Ah, beautiful. What a good thing to go into talking to right after we talk
Yeah.
about Realist Hero.
I think this show is funny.
So
One of my biggest notes of this show, of Life Lessons of Uramichi Onisan, is that I am in this show and I do not like it. But at the same time, I understand it.
I think parts of this show are funny.
Yeah.
I can understand the comedic value to it. This is the show I probably want to keep watching least, though, next to Battle Game. Like, they're
That's
in the
fair.
same boat for me.
See, for me, it's actually flipped, just
I know.
barely. Like, this is the one that I like. It's partially because it's my show, and it's partially because I really like. I just love the deadpan, stupid humor this show has. Like, I love it when it's like when it is funny. I love it. Like, and I like the Birdman. His little watering can next to his house that they showed in the end of episode 3 is the Birdman because he painted it.
Michael,
The little bit where he's like watching the TV at night and it was doing the horoscope, and it's like, wow, your life sucks. Wow, your life really sucks.
Michael, tear into this show. I know you want to.
Oh, yeah. So what I've realized, I don't know when I realized this. It may have been during the season watching things. Is that the comedy I enjoy in anime, at least, is when it's character driven and the characters are fun and are just consistently amusing to have around, and they're funny, and it's good. It's a good time. They're good characters. I think this show, when it makes jokes, generally is funny. And the half of the episode that they spend between jokes, I couldn't stand. This is the first show I have ever watched that I had to skip through when you speed up because I could not get through it.
This was me for
Heaven's Design
Heaven's
Team.
Design Team. Michael's finally
Oh, man.
experiencing it.
Man, I'm really good at making you guys hate shows, aren't I?
I enjoyed Heaven's Design Team because I thought the characters in that at least were fun.
I like Animal Planet.
I like the main character of this show because one of the things I think is really neat about the show is its like visual aesthetic that it goes from, because when he's on that balcony smoking, I get like it gives you like
Cowboy Bebop
like
vibes,
Bebop
like-
monster like hardened edged old man vibes, and it's really interesting. I just don't know how many episodes of this I can take over and over and over again.
Oh,
I just like the scenes where like he's interacting with the other guy in the bunny suit, and he's just like, you think this guy would learn to not talk shit about him at work? Because every time he's like, dude, do you know what's funny? Macho man, macho. And that was the moment in which indifference turned into anger. I
I
love
have
this
to
shit.
say, so like, I think the things. So I like the comedy, but I also like that like behind the scenes almost bit where like you get like glimpses into his just decimated mental state, where like there's that point where like it's cutting through and like every while it'll just like static and like the people will turn to mannequins and like shit like that, where it's like, hey, like existential horror coming from anxiety attacks, I'm in.
Hey, giving up on your dreams sucks.
Also, like, this literally just reminds me of my friend group, so I enjoy it because of that, because it's just like, oh, I can see way too much of this, like, insert friend here.
Can we at least agree that the best moments in the show is always when the kids are on screen saying
It's
anything?
really good. The kids are
The
really
kids
good.
are the
Oh,
kids
that
are
was,
amazing.
was that because of the hard drinking?
Is that because of the hard drink? Hey, how old are you, Uramichi Onisan? I am 31. My papa's 29. How come you're not married and don't have any kids? And he's just like, listen here, you little shit. Sometimes people live life differently, and sometimes you're 31 and your dreams have failed, and you're here working. And she's like, is that because of the hard drink? It's just
I
so good.
really enjoyed the bit where they do the ask a question from any of the ask a question bits. I think are probably some of this show's better bits,
Yeah.
where she pulls out the letter and it's like, who would you date out of the two of them? She's like, kids, don't fuck up, don't do this, you'll suffer,
Dude,
but don't lose on this one.
Don't date someone because they look good or they look pretty. Date them because of their personality and not because maybe they made you laugh that one time or they have a job that's going nowhere.
It's
Please,
really funny that
please.
she's not talking about them, but they both think she's talking about
Talking about her
them.
boyfriend.
It's that bit's good. I really like when or Bunny Boy goes under the table with the sock puppet and he flips it up and it's like, the director told me to do it, and the director's like, nope, and the director told me to do it because we're short staffed, and the director's like, yep.
I did tell him to do that
I did
'cause we're
do
short
that
staffed.
one. That's a good
I just love
bit.
this director who's like, yeah, we'll cut around it. It's fine. Like,
This is the most lenient fucking director on the planet. This cue card man has the worst job of his whole entire life. I think this show has redeeming qualities to it. It is just like
ED of the season though.
Yeah.
Dream On is fucking
I like
banger.
its OP too. I also really enjoyed the song sequence in episode 2 where they sing about rain about the umbrella.
I enjoyed that.
It's a really
I had
good
to slow
bit.
it back
I
down
like
there. I
that
was like, hold on, I gotta experience this.
I like
music.
that the singer One-san is actually a singer, like an actual like singer in anime. Like I think that's really cool.
I don't know why. I don't know why 3 people who graduated in the same field all wind up working at this one children's show.
No, they're in different fields. Only 2 of them are singers, and then the other 2 were just like high school, like a couple years below our Oni-san.
No, they were in college.
Yeah, they were all college. They were a year
that's
under
right.
him, and they all graduated from like physical therapy.
Physical
is it?
education.
Physical
It was
education.
Physical education.
No, they were 3 years younger. They're 28.
Okay.
He's 31.
Even then.
But
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
'cause
they all
he was an
graduated.
elite at their school, so I don't know if that was high school or college. It didn't specify, so I didn't know.
I do think this show has potential with like once it dives. I actually think I get more intrigued with this show when it dives out of the studio sometimes, because I think some of the stuff it does there is interesting. The scene with the dumbbells I actually do think was kind of funny, and I enjoyed the fishing bit where he throws the cat the fish and the bird gets
Which is
it.
funny, because when I first watched that, I thought that guy was Uramichi Onisan, but it was the other bunny guy that was fishing.
Was
It wasn't.
The, yes,
Oh,
Yes.
it was the other bunny guy.
Because he
I
says he
really
catches
did.
fish to
Wait,
go over to
you didn't
Uramichi's
realize?
house.
No,
No.
cause
And Mason didn't either. I had to tell him. He's
No.
like, wait, wasn't he fishing? I'm like, no, the other guy was fishing.
that's why it confused me, because I thought he was lying to him when he was like, "What'd you do today?" He was like, "I went to the gym." I was like, "No, you didn't. You went fucking fishing."
That's what
why
Mason
he's
said.
here. Because I thought somehow his friend knew that he was out fishing. He was like, "Yo, he's got fish. Let's go over to his house and fuck around." I was like, "That
That's what I
makes
thought too.
sense." I was like,
No, I hope this does what like Wodakoi did, where like it starts to like transition out from the workplace and more towards like the out of workplace lifestyle, you know, because that's where like you get like the actual characters of like they're just trying to stay alive.
here's the problem. Now we're talking about this, and I kind of want to keep watching this show, but I also want to keep watching Battle Games. So now I don't know what I'm slaying this week. I have a problem.
So
Don't worry,
also,
Mason will make the job easy for you.
One thing I also did, I really liked, and it kind of fit into that slipping mental state thing, was in that end bit with the psychology test at the end of episode 3, when he's out on the balcony, when he's walking back in, the fucking watering can is the fucking bird.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mason pointed that out.
I saw it. I was like, "That's good."
I love the bird memes where he's drawing your friends. And I love the scene where it's the kids and they got the puppies like, "Do you like this puppet?" That's kind of creepy. It's terrible, isn't it? We should get rid of it. And she just goes, "But that's your friend, and we think you should treat your friends nicely, even if
Mom
we don't
said
like
that.
it.
Mom said you should love your friends and treat
You should
them
love your
well.
friends.
Also,
So I
you
think
should
you
get
should
real
do
friends.
Also, I think you should get real friends with real people. It's the same girl as the screenshot too. I think that's
She's
no.
just-
I think it's a different one. I think it's a different one.
The children are brutal, and I
The
love
children are fucking. That's children for you. They just say whatever comes to their mind from like 0 to like 7. They'll say whatever. They have no filter and they have no regard for basic human decency. That is children in general.
My
I have
nephew,
an OB clinical and a child's clinical this semester, and I'm saying this.
Mason
You're
and
gonna
Michael
hear-
were in the room when I was watching anime or trying to. My nephew
I saw
knocked
that.
on my door and went, "Sean, are you coming down in 5 minutes?" Which he's been doing the whole day. And I went, "I can't, but I'm busy." And he goes, "So you're gonna come down and you're gonna stay down there forever?" And I was like, "Bud, I can't do that. I can't."
That is
Aw.
Wi-Fi
This show
died.
also.
Yeah, then my Wi-Fi died for no goddamn reason.
He
I was
chewed through
wondering
the
about
wires.
That kid unplugged your Wi-Fi. He's like, he's coming downstairs one way or the other.
So this show also gets me because like I used to work for a Boy Scout camp,
Oof.
so like I have been in his role of you have to act good for the children and you are not doing okay. And it's just like, oh man, this is just me at 18.
Oh, good.
But
Oh,
yeah.
we get to talk. Peach Boy Riverside is
It's a show.
It's interesting. It does a lot of things I don't like, surprisingly. It cuts a lot, for one. I didn't realize this until rewatching the first episode with Michael. God, the show just cuts. It hasn't given us... It kind of just throws you in. It doesn't give you any world background, any explanation, which becomes more apparent when at the end of the episode you realize it's a Momotaro story. And most people in Japan won't need that extra background because of how popular and well-known the story Momotaro is. I don't dislike this show at all. It is our fantasy shonen show of the season, and I think it has potential to be a really good shonen and a potentially good, like, long-running show, because I imagine it'll get slated for other seasons past this first one. It's oddly paced, for sure. And you're thrown a lot of things, and you just kind of have to sort them out, because you have these ogres, who are just onis, interchangeable. They're neat. Their designs are neat. Their power's neat. Power ceiling doesn't matter in this show, though, because our two main characters are absolutely fucking busted.
You're right. This is the Joran of the season. I forgot to mention.
But I also don't think this is the Joran of the season because, like, there is no major conflict yet. Like, this is just a ragtag group together, and it really feels like we're missing something very crucial to this show, which I think is a plot.
Also explaining that she's a demon, because they haven't said it yet outright, but we all know it. She's part demon, right? Like, we know it.
It's not quite like that. So there's like the one thing I can really say I enjoyed about this show was comedic timing for the most awful moments.
Yeah.
As in like when they're walking out of the castle town and they're like, cool, here's this guard handing a thing off, and then
Yo, boss, take your horse. It
then
took me a minute to realize that it wasn't
the
just
hand.
the horse, it was the entire town.
It wasn't
Yeah,
the guy.
and-
It was the entire city just leveled.
They're just still just holding on to the hand, and they're just like, oh god, he's dead.
Like, why does this show just have moments of ReZero horror?
I really like a lot. There's a lot of things I like that this show does. I like the I like the fact that it has this cutesy kind of art style at times with some of the way its characters are, and then it isn't afraid to just be brutal and just slaughter things.
Yeah.
Which, you know, as you're saying, that ReZero stuff, and I knew that was a case with this show going into it. It's why I picked it. I love Frau
Frau is the
wonderful.
best character.
Frau is so
by
good.
far.
Best girl and or boy of the season, whichever one it is. I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm imagining it's a she, based on
Because of the sailor outfit.
everything we've gotten.
I think it's just
with
a
them.
they.
Yeah,
Well, Frau is also German for woman, so
Yeah.
yeah. But this is just carrot dead.
Oh.
Carrot dead. So good. I love this character. I love
Carrot
Hungry.
in One Piece.
I also really enjoy a lot of the characters on the Oni side of things. Like, I enjoyed the God of Masks. I think she's amazing. I like her interaction with the Captain of the Guard. I like the Captain of the Guard. I think this show's cast is very good. I just think it doesn't seem like there's anything for them to do yet. On the bright side, I think this next episode is gonna fix it, because we're clearly putting our main character in a position where she's supposed to pick one of the two, and I don't think she wants to pick either of the two, because she doesn't want to kill all the Onis. And I don't know, you're gonna trust this fucking man? Look at this man. You're gonna trust this man?
You're gonna trust evil Aizen from Tales of Berseria?
He's just Father from Brotherhood. I don't trust him.
Oh my god. Dude, all I can see from that scene in my head is the scene in fucking Kingdom Hearts 2, beginning with Roxas, where it's just like, Roxas! 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 And he shouts his friend's name and it resolves the whole situation. Like, that's all I can see coming out of this. Like, oh, it's so dumb. Like, the show is super over the top, which makes it enjoyable, but it's also, like, kind of bad.
I'm really
I'm not a big
hoping-
fan of Jailbait, the character in Carrot. I think she's super Jailbait. I don't get it. Like, I can never tell how old she is at any given point between her adult form and her child form. And she's always just like, now she's just like in a permanent state with someone
Yeah,
in between. That
She
is
seems
really,
stuck in between, which is odd. I'm not the biggest
which is
fan
weird
of it.
because they gave her the boba, but she's also like 4'1" now.
Also,
like-
the tentacle scene out of nowhere is questionable. It's just there. It's just randomly there in episode 1.
Wait. The person who voice acts Kara is the same person who voice acts the blonde-haired girl in Black Dungeon, or the blue-haired girl that we just met.
That checks.
That checks so hard.
No,
Oh man.
I mean, I want to give this show more time because I think it has a lot of potential. That's why I have it decently high on my power ranking, and why it's so weird to me. And I think the only thing I justifiably do think should definitely be above it is probably Remake Our Life. I definitely think that's the show I'm underselling this season. But we'll talk about it when we get there. It's soon. It's coming up.
It's like next or two-way.
It,
This show just reeks of Joran to me too, though. Like, where it's just gonna like have some weird big it's just gonna be like way too over the top. It's like somewhere between Joran and like God of High School is like where this show is like gonna end up, and I'm not a big fan of that. Where it's just like there's just too much and too much power scaling. Like, how is basic dude gonna be involved at all in this show outside of just being a character to talk to?
I mean,
like,
It's gonna just be the normal dude of superhumans. He just is there.
I hate that character type. He's just a brick wall to talk to in between the action.
the problem is, like, I don't know. This is what makes this show really hard, is I don't know where it's going, so I don't know if this cast works yet or not. Because if this is gonna be, like, it's a fantasy shonen. It's not an action-tagged show. So is it not, like, its fights are kind of One Punch Man fights where they're kind of one and done. Besides the fact that we had 2 of them span over an episode cutting back and forth, which didn't help either of them personally, in my opinion. But I think this show, depending on what it's choosing to do with its characters and what it's choosing to do with its story, can be good. It just needs to decide and show it to us soon, in my opinion.
This show's just weird, dude. It's like it's not going off this week, but like for me, it's one of those like borderline kind of shows. Like, there's just so much that it's gonna have to compete with to stay relevant for me right now.
This is the show that all of us have at 7, except for Michael, who has it higher.
Wow.
So I'm interested.
I have it at 6, right?
We're all
You have it
7
at
gamers.
5.
You put Aquatope
Oh yeah,
below it.
no, I had switched Aquatope in this.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the big switch. Aquatope was at
So the
5,
rating
and
is like a
this went down to
6.8 average from us.
Yeah.
Oh, 6, 7, 5.
Yeah.
Like, either way.
I don't love this show. They're just things I like of it. I don't know. I enjoy just seeing this cast dick around and banter with each other. So I think they're just amusing to see.
Prison Break.
My biggest issue with the show is that I'm scared. It's her power is the whole, oh, I go unconscious and then I get superpowers, like Zenitsu from Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, and I don't like that kind of type as a main character. I think it's going to get really boring really fast after, like, one more fight.
I think the issue, too, is, like, she feels like she has, like, similar powers to, like, our main boy. Like, in terms of, like, Oni powers or whatever, right? But she only has, like, the one eye, right? So it tells me she's
both
probably,
of her eyes, I think.
I think she does have both, but I think, like, it shows... I think it shows...
The peach.
I think it
was
depends...
a peach, not a heart.
Yeah, I think it depends when... How deep in this, in, like, the stance she is with, if it's one eye or both eyes she gets. Whereas with him, he's obviously fully in control when he has the power active. Again, like, it's so hard to gauge anything with this show for me. Which is rough, because ideally, technically speaking, I think I'm probably my shows are probably the weak link shows of this season. Across the board. I think, across the podcast opinion, I think one of my shows particularly isn't as bad as it's been getting rated, but we'll talk about that.
Oh, so what were your 3? It was Peach Boy, Riverside,
Battle Game,
and
then Remain. So, we'll talk.
We'll get there.
Right now.
Right now. You get the back-to-back this season, not me for once.
I get the back-to-back this season, which is fine, because Mason gets, like, a one-show break between all of his real quick, and then, like, it's my back-to-back. Firstly, Mappa. So the show looks good, and I do think it looks good. I don't think there's any part of the show where I think it, like, has a rough moment. By far, my biggest problem with Remain is, holy shit, this cast of characters are a bunch of assholes. Calm down. I will be upfront with that. I watched the first 2 episodes of this show, and I go, can you guys, like, understand that, like, he doesn't remember and doesn't have the capacity to handle
in the hospital
shit?
for almost for 2/3 of a year, and atrophied the fuck out, has no memories of 3 years. maybe don't fucking overwhelm the guy.
I think it's really bad episode 1, and I think it's really bad for the first bit of episode 2. But the reason why I have this show significantly high is because I think it starts to turn things around, and I also am liking this cast of characters. I think the show doing its little flash moment in episode 2, where it shows why each of these characters are here to play water polo, is interesting. I have a lot of hopes for this cast of being good, and I just think I think this show really does have good potential on it, and I think some of the ways people are treating him, I think there is in some way a little bit of justification for it. I think the female character we get introduced to going, you're gonna keep your bet, you're not gonna play water polo. I think in a way that's good for him because she isn't like, she gives him the choice to back out, but I think she's also going, I know how good you were, you want to just drop it.
No, I think she goes, I want you to win the bet, damn it.
Well,
That's what it felt like to me. She's like, I want you to win, please win.
like, I could see a justification for her of why she treats him the way she does and kind of gives him that push towards
Gives him
water
the
polo,
push.
which I think is nice. I think the rest of the guys are absolute garbage with how they treat him. But I do think the moment where he stands up for himself and is like, look, this is why, like, you can't do this. I think that's a really good moment for him and his character.
That guy was worse Mishima, is what that kid was.
Just the captain acknowledging, hey, yeah, no, you're right.
That was fucked.
I did that without acknowledging or thinking about your feelings. I'm really sorry about that. That was good.
And we kind of get why, because he's been trying to recruit members for 3
like
years
this
of his high
captain
school and has literally
lot.
nobody join.
I like this
captain.
captain.
I like captain, and I like cocky red hair boy.
Red hair boy.
Mhm. We haven't got enough of the other
Red Hair
characters.
Boy's fun.
We haven't got enough of the other two for me to know how I feel about them. And then our glasses boy, I do not like, but I think he's meant to be the character you don't like because he's meant to be the character. I understand from his perspective of going, you were my senpai. I saw you at your best. Seeing
You encouraged
like
me
this,
to play water polo.
Seeing you like this is literally breaking me. Like, I understand where he comes from. It's just really hard as a viewer to like acknowledge any of his thoughts or feelings because he treats him so bad.
After he was such an asshole to get him here, and then slowly realizing, oh wait, he's really fucked up. Like
it's the whole thing of there is a fine line between admiration and obsession, and he is towed into the obsession side.
Mm-hmm. I think the scenes that sold this show for me of being as high as it is come from its first episode, though. The scene where his sister wakes up screaming. Like,
that was my favorite scene in the show. That was the one I really
immediately followed by him walking back into his room, reading the book about the remain ruling, and going, "My family's been stuck here since I've been asleep." Like the parallel between what I imagine is his role on the court of being the Remainer back, and then of connecting it with the family, I think is incredible for this show to do. And that alone was a moment where I was like, fuck, that's really good.
I wish the show just did that. Like, I wish the water polo was almost secondary, similar to like what we had with Taiso Samurai the other season, where like the sport is secondary, right? The actual like emotional like trauma this family is going through is so interesting to me. Like, the mom feels so bad. And you can see it like in the slight animation changes they have between her and like her husband and like the daughter, right? Like everyone, like everything at home feels like it's on a nice edge, right? Because like no one wants to make him feel bad because they're just glad he's alive, right? And that he's home. But at the same time, like, they know how much this meant to him beforehand. They know how much like this changed their family and how much like this was his future, right? And to have that taken away, mom feels so guilty, right? Mom feels super fucking guilty. The daughter literally is still having traumatizing nightmares almost a year later. Like, those scenes at home are some of the coolest moments in the show. I just wish that was the focus of the show instead it's gonna be water polo.
The
right?
scene where his sister diffuses like the awkward conversation and
really
he recognizes it,
and
really good. Like
the whole time he's like, I know I'm just saying this to make my mom happy, but in the moment, but like, you know, I don't want her to worry because I'm not doing water polo now, right?
Michael, do you know what sports show I want this show to be like? Yeah, I think it's very easy to draw the comparisons between the two already.
Well, the only one I could think of that you want this would be Stars Align.
No.
Because it's Stars Align.
Haikyuu?
I have a show that I have rated higher than Stars Align as a sports show. It's, I think, my only sports show with a 10.
comedy?
No, it's fucking
Run with the Wind.
Run with the Wind. That's what it's called.
I think Run with the Wind's an amazing story-driven sports show about like the team's journey, about like getting over their hurdles and getting the person where they need to be and accomplishing what they want to accomplish in the sport. And I think if Remain spends its time with its characters and understanding like why the characters are where they are and kind of digging more into it, I think Remain can be a really great sports show. Because I don't think you can do a haiku with Remain. I don't think it's possible.
I don't think you can do a haiku with the Remain.
Neither do I, but I want a good sports show.
However, I used to play water polo a little bit. I know what the sport is like, and I think you can do some really cool animation with it.
And it's Mappa, so I'm hoping
yeah,
they do.
it's Mappa.
Like that's this is by far out of my 3 shows. If you had to ask me which one I want to give the most chance to, it's this one. Because I think this has the most, especially since it's at 2 episodes as well. What were 3? Technically we could have been at 3 for it, but
we did not have enough time.
We were pushing our luck with the load we had today.
Yeah. I played a best of 5 in League of Legends before this.
Most of us finished our shows today.
Hours.
That went to 4 games.
I worked 8 hours, and I was up until 4 a.m. this morning watching anime to catch up with this.
Yeah, no,
I told you, man, you got to get a jump on it early, Mason.
You're right.
I
told you.
I really do think this could be a cast of characters, and like these team interactions can be really good moments of a bunch of like outcast misfits finding their place in a sport that people wouldn't expect.
Once again, if they win, this is bullshit, and I'll be really upset. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah,
they should get absolutely dominated, like by other teams.
The idea is they're going to be playing against his other teammates.
This team is going to be the Detroit Red Wings, where the only good player on the team is the goaltender.
Which, like, by the way, really great decision when writing a sports show of a team of not of all new players is to make the best player the defensive player. It just makes sense.
Yes.
To limit the ability of things to get out of hand in scoring.
Like, you do one of 2 things. You make the best player the defensive player, or you do what Kabaddi does, which is make the best player the offensive player who can just stack the points. Like, you have to do one of the 2.
You can outscore your opponent, right?
One of the reasons the Haikyuu team does really well is that their captain is really good at recovery, and he is a very good backbone for that team. This captain feels very similar in that regard, where he, like, knows his shit.
Give me another Daichi, please.
One thing that Kuroko no Basket does really well is everybody is, like, a team player, which is important for the sport they're playing, like in basketball. Like, everyone has to get involved. If one person's not shooting well, someone else has to step up, and they do that well. In this show, you have you have 4 people who have never played water polo before in their life.
And one of them who did and doesn't know.
And yes, one of them is fucking giga ripped, but that is not the right muscles for this, as we saw. Like, he has a good foundation to build on, but baseball is a much different sport than water polo, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so, I mean...
He'd be a good offensive player, though. He's probably got a cannon.
Yeah, so that's the big thing too. That's what I was like looking at too, is because I have the background. I'm like, okay, well, let me think about where these players are going to be, and I can tell you right now that red-haired boy is most likely going to be like an offensive side.
Yeah, you played water polo.
Yeah, of course, main character is going to be the center because of fucking course he is.
These are words.
But it's just going to be like
passer.
So there's not really shot calling. It's very much a team-oriented sport because you have to constantly be surveying individually where everyone is in the pool. And you're kind of everyone is shouting like here, here, etc.
Marco.
Pretty much, honestly. Yes, I know.
Sag, no one said polo.
That was a dodge to your joke, and I wasn't going to give it to you.
I was thinking about it, but because you stole my joke, you're on your own, buddy.
Dodge, we're a team in this.
I've
been making these jokes before you were here.
Listen,
you came
Sean,
in and stole my
Sean, important
joke.
Question. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Yeah, I've been making these jokes since before you were born.
I mean, true.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Mason, we're the boomers here. We're the boomers here.
Yeah, we're young.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with this. I'm sorry.
You've been watching anime since before I was born, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think I literally have.
I watched Power Rangers, which is like
I'm
America's
a
Super
2000s
Sentai.
kid. You definitely have. Probably.
Yeah.
God, you
'cause,
guys were
like,
born in 2000.
I-
Fuck.
Yeah.
I need a minute.
To be
I'll
fair,
back.
to be fair, we're both January to make you feel better. We're
Yeah,
literally
we were born
cusp.
3 days apart.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm the 12th. I'm the 12th. He's the 9th. The other
God,
group, other group is Alex is 99 and Nathan's fucking either late 2000 or 2001 because it's a year younger.
Dude, I'm turning 24 in a month. Like a month and 2 days exactly. So. Also, I believe we're going to be doing a podcast on my birthday. So
Nice.
if we stick with the Saturday,
we could do. I don't have a problem with doing so. I like the consistent schedule if we
Yeah.
can keep it. I know for Michael, it's. We also have to plan D&D.
Saturday is the day I can do if we don't
I
do
need
it
a
this
drink.
late consistently.
Also,
Going to work tomorrow is gonna suck.
All right, guys, in the mic.
I
out
have
the mic.
next 2 days off. So
Michael, do you have thoughts on Remain? Because we have.
I mean,
I want to make sure you talk.
I just the thing with the show is that I just think the cast from what we have just isn't good yet. We haven't gotten enough with most of them, and the ones we have gotten stuff with, I'm just not a big fan of.
I'm
And
not
like
the
I
biggest fan of the
absolutely
main
hate the
character.
glasses. The main character is fine. Glasses character is garbage, and the
He's the
captain
worst.
up until the last like 5 minutes is really bad. But like the moment he gets in the pool and starts doing goalie things, I'm like, okay, pretty cool.
Once they started doing the sports stuff, the characters were better, right? Even Glasses Kid was better once they started doing the sports stuff. But the out of school stuff, that's not okay, guys. Let him
Yeah.
get out of the hospital and rehab first.
Even his original
Before we
team
start
when they
forcing
come in
one.
and they're like, you
I
don't
get that a
remember?
little bit.
I understand it, but it doesn't make it okay that they do it.
No.
Like the idea of like you don't remember us, literally cry in front of like you have to like be gentle with those kind of things.
Dude,
but
He's
I
been-
get it.
he-
Like I
his
get
brain
it.
is 3 years reverted. Like he probably remembers his 6th grade friends.
I really love the you were already dumb before.
I like that he didn't
also-
say anything right away when he woke up because he didn't recognize his own sister for a minute.
Yeah.
Right? He's just like,
Also-
what is going on?
one thing I really enjoyed about this show that I just remembered, I really liked the like time skip of him getting better,
Mhm.
where it was just the sleep, rehab, eat, manga,
Study.
sleep, eat.
Study.
Yeah.
Taiso did
Manga.
this too. Taiso's did the.
Manga.
I like the time skip montages when they need it, which I think it's a
God.
good sign for this show because he's gonna need to bulk up. Like obviously, like that's I think our next objective besides get this 7th player is get this man in shape.
First objective,
Yeah.
get another player. Next objective, get yoked with the boys. Ugh.
I do.
Core training.
I am always a fan of steal a player from a different sport. Always is great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not even, you're stealing a player from a different tryout. Not even a different. He's not even on the team yet.
I can't wait to hear about why he went.
I
from
do
being a
enjoy
fish
the
to a-
bits where he. I enjoy the bits where he like explains stuff in crayon.
I think
because
that's a really neat
Still
touch.
mentally a child.
He's still mentally in
'Cause he-
6th
yeah, he's
grade, which
missed-
puts you at like 11 or 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's still mentally a goddamn elementary school student.
I do like
Also-
that. I do like that the show understands. So like, we can't have had him been in a coma since 6th grade. That won't work realistically. So have him be in a coma for a year, but have him lose the memories. I think that is a really good way to handle this premise.
Coma strats, man. It always works.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Domestic-
Started
domestic
on
girlfriend proved
domestic
that.
girlfriend and the coma strats. Oh,
I believe our next show is our other re-show.
It is.
Which Michael,
Yeah.
I
Banter.
mean,
Guys,
we have
at
a
what point in this
lot.
podcast are we having the talk about where these fit into the re-timeline?
I just want to say, man, I almost
just need
picked
to-
this show and now I'm pissed.
Michael, you had me fucking dying about that earlier.
The re-timeline.
The re-time.
I love the
baby.
re-timeline. It's such a good fucking meme.
So
But anyway,
Yeah, this is all
remake
you.
our life. It's one of our two or three shows that starts with a longer episode.
Bro,
It's
this was
50
almost
minute
an
first
hour.
episode.
I had to watch it in 2 parts
This
because
worked,
I literally
though.
had to fall asleep.
I don't know how to explain why. I think I like the show because I like its cast. I think all 5 characters we've met so far are amazing. My only gripe with the show, really, is that I dislike the voice actor choice for Akishino. Because like she just sounds too much like a child. The
But
blue
that's her
girl.
character, though.
Or Shinoaki.
Yeah.
I just think she sounds too young for being a person in college. But I
I
know
mean, some
that's
people,
just kind
Lily
of how Japan
Pichu does
works.
exist, you know.
Sure. I do think this show should be higher on my power ranking, and it definitely is going to move up Polly next week.
I'll take a look at
I still have to like move things around for sure. This show's way too low. Because like I think back on it, and I really like a lot of what this show does, and I love this main character. Again, he like the main character from Detective is Dead. He's one of these characters who has so much going on in his mind, but I like him a lot. I like this one a lot because the cast realizes it. The cast knows something's going on with him because of how much, at least Akashino does, because like how much he's just constantly standing there.
He stares into
thinking.
space.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. This is such a good cast of characters. You're absolutely right. I think for me, I'm trying to think of there was something for sure that I had as like my biggest gripe with this show. Oh, not showing the animation for the full.
Yeah, I wish they showed the full video.
For both of them, either of them.
Yeah.
It's a 50-minute opening. You had a 50-minute opening episode. You definitely had time somewhere in the next two to like show us it. It's 3 minutes apiece. I want to see it. They worked
I would
on
like
it.
them to have started the episode.
Like, we
with,
do
the
essentially see their entire project, but we don't get, like, an uncut version where it's just
any of the voice
project
actors
made
behind
single.
it.
Yeah.
They just put the text, right?
As-
But they said they dubbed over it.
Yeah. As
So
We didn't get an
go ahead.
Izuku moment where we just have that, like, 3 minutes of
Yeah.
and a beautiful bit of animation
I need to watch
occurring in front
Aizuken.
of us.
I need to finish Aizuken. I need to go back and finish
Heard-
Aizuken. That's a
Hey,
show that
watch
got
it.
done dirty on this podcast. But
Uh-huh.
Mason,
Um,
Mason, what were you gonna
because
say?
it's because Dylan was on the podcast and he disliked it.
Yeah, that's Dylan.
So, the thing that I love about this show is I went to film school, and I am.
He's done everything, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, I've had a very interesting life.
This is the Mason season, dude. We got the film school,
The water
polo
polo.
playing economics genius, like who also was a vampire. What?
lived with the cast of fucking Life Lessons.
Who
Just
also
knows them.
traveled through 3 different voids before, like,
So,
and ran a black company.
So I was telling John this because we were watching Remake Our Life together, but I have never like watched a show and just been flung into school as hard as I was with this show, because literally my first assignment in my first film class was make a 3-minute video with no dialogue, and that's what it was.
Almost like the show did it research.
Exactly.
This is
And,
really
like-
and what do you do after you're done with it? Everybody watches it. I, as someone who's a communication studies student and took a broadcast course and like did a television production, like
Anyone who has graduated from college and done a group project knows that everyone else in the class sees the group project. That is your presentation environment.
Michael was in call when I was watching that part of the episode, and literally the guy, he was like, you need to rewrite the script, and the guy went no, and I went no, you do rewrite the script. You are the person who is supposed to do that. That's the smart thing to do. And then they were like, well, we actually haven't started filming. I'm like, oh, then none of this matters because you don't know jack shit about what you need to change yet. Like, it's good
Yep.
that you're thinking
Until you
about your
see it
time
and
limit, but
experience
like,
it.
wait till you start recording because then you're gonna know where all your fucking problems are and what you have to fix.
I
Like,
assume they had like practiced some stuff behind
Yeah.
it, like the voice lines, but like and timed it. But
you obviously
Yeah,
do
I agree.
like put together work, but it's one of those things where it's like, yes, as a creative who is writing the script, it fucking sucks. You have to cut your work. In the
Mason,
industry,
there's something else you want to bring up?
you have to do that.
So also, one thing I really did enjoy was that opening ceremony where the assistant professor shows up and they're like, "Hey, who wants to do X, 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 and Y?" They're like, "Me." She's like, "All right, kids, I'm gonna be real with you. You're fucking stupid, but try and be better at being stupid than anyone else. That's the only way you're gonna survive in this industry, because that's literally what it is."
If you are the best at something, someone will pay you to do it.
Mhm.
That is a famous phrase I heard, and I mentioned this while watching it. Like, if you're the best at anything in the world, somebody will pay you to do it. That is just how it works. And that is such a good scene in this show. For
Michael-
me, like the first arc of the season had that whole like full season feel, like the
Yeah.
Bunny Girl first arc, where it's like this first arc could have been like a full semester of college, right, and like a full season, and so it's good. But go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna throw it to Michael to talk about what he likes.
I was gonna steal it because I want
Um,
to talk anyways.
Yeah, there's some things I like. One of the big things that I enjoyed was at the end of the first episode when he himself realizes that Shinoaki, or actually whatever the fuck, I don't remember how they pronounce it, it's the person from the Platinum Gen. And it's not kept until episode 11 when he finally gets that revelation. He realizes it by himself because he's a smart human being who isn't an idiot. And I assume by episode 4, he's going to realize Nanako is Nana, the other member of the Platinum Gen. And I assume the other dude he's with is going to be the third member of it. But we don't know. It could be someone else.
Yeah, he hasn't definitively noticed anybody besides Akashina, right? Like, he hasn't definitively announced that he realizes he's with the Platinum Generation.
But the other one is very clearly Nana, because one, her name is Nanako, and two, she's getting into music.
What's Nano?
And she's a music director.
I'm getting.
Nana's one of.
I also like how it's like it's Nano, not Nano, the actual Japanese artist.
I have a point that's gonna completely derail this, so please continue to talk about this first.
He also had a comment at the end where he's like, I hope I give the Platinum Generation a run for their money, or I'm motivating them, which was like, does he know or does he know? Like, I couldn't tell.
Does he not know he's only?
Does he know that all of them are?
Wild.
They haven't made that clear. I think he has his ideas, which is why, like, when he was listening to her sing, wow, it's so vibrant, it's so loud, and realizes, oh, she's kind of tone deaf. To me, this is, like, weird because it's like, okay, who the fuck was the foil to these people that he's fucking over in this apartment? Like,
yeah.
who
I said this
through? Like, was it Red Hair Girl?
The four originally?
Like, was it Eri?
God damn it.
I like her character. I hope she wins the best girl contest for wifing this guy up, for two reasons. One, she was the director. She gave him a job. She's great. And two, her voice actress is Yui Gahama from Snafu. So, you know, double pluses. But yeah, I love that this is like a film class, like a repertoire, like it's a show of film school basically, and I love that. I like the older sister being the teacher. I think that was funny. You kind of got your inkling because they look similar.
I thought it was gonna be
like
mom, but yeah.
When they actually said it's either mom or sister, I'm like, she looks way too young.
It makes more sense to be sister. I realized that when they said, I was like, oh yeah, she's way too young. But
and then my last note was like, okay, but like, who's the dude gonna wife up at the end? The safe bet is the blue-haired girl, Shiko Ani, and the hope is the red-haired girl. She's the dark horse because she's the one that clearly likes him, but this girl's throwing him at him because you're my muse now.
Mason, you go first, because my point's, like, very off-topic.
No, mine is too.
I hope it's the same one. I really appreciate this show when he does the time skip backwards, and it goes, only 7 volumes of Familiar of Zero is out right now, and it's literally the right volume count for 2006 June. Checked. They got
I could have told you that.
Right.
I watched the anime.
It's so good. The attention to detail they do to like get, and I love every moment they do with it, where they're like, where he's like, you should post your singing to a site that's only gonna broadcast to Japan.
In Japan only, when that comes out.
She's like,
that'll come out?
She's like, that's...
Because YouTube came out before that site.
She's like, that's wild. That, like, does that exist? And he doesn't say it out loud, obviously, but he's like,
no, she doesn't say that. She's just like, well, maybe if that did. Like,
yeah.
He's like, yeah, what if an only Japan one came out?
Baseball scene's hilarious, where he doesn't know how to talk about the teams, because he doesn't know who's currently playing, because it's been fucking years for him.
I also love the accidental, like, something we didn't touch on was, like, accidentally stealing stories and stealing content, right? Like, that's one of the things that, like, I'm really happy they brought up of, like, oh shit, this is actually a story he had planned to write in this collection of short stories. This exact scene, because I had heard it before, because I'm a big fan of the Platinum Generation, right? And this dude had it in a locked box, where it's like, okay, it's a coincidence now, right? But if it happens again, there's gonna be more problems. And I like that they're setting up like that foreshadowing of like, eventually this will happen again, whether he wants to or not. He'll have an idea that he can't use, and will have to like think of what to do about it, right? Because he knows that it'll be stealing an idea. But yeah, the attention to detail in the show is absolutely fantastic. The showing of computers that have like the old Windows 2000s on it, XP, with the big blue bar at the top, excellent. And like talking about like using Adobe and Flash and Photoshop.
Yeah, what do you mean?
One of my favorite things in anime is the names they used for fake versions of real brands.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Photoshop,
any English name for a stan in JoJo's.
God damn it.
Not very good company.
I also have to.
No, worst company.
Worst
Also,
company.
Yeah, it's worst company.
So, my thing, and I told John about this as it was happening, and he told me I had to bring it up. So,
I didn't want to steal it.
I have my DGen moments, I will fully admit. And I noticed something at the end of episode 3 where there's a close-up shot of Shinoaki. And I noticed she had a certain facial thing where like her lip kind of had like an extra, like it showed her lip more in a certain way. And it reminded me of a certain artist. It reminded me of a doujin I had read before. That there's several doujins made by this artist, and I went, oh, so that's what they're doing now. They're working on this.
Just like Shokugeki no Shoma's artist. They were doujin artists before they made Shokugeki no Soma.
Like Nagatoro's artist.
Peach Boy Riverside.
That makes a lot of sense with Nagatoro, I'm not gonna lie. That makes a lot of sense.
Peach Boy and Kobayashi are the same way. Like their team-ups with the writers and the artists who...
So that's why the boobs are gigantic in those shows.
Uh-huh. That's why the main girl in Peach Boy Riverside's tits are absolutely huge.
And Carrot. A real set of honkers, some real badonkers, some real hantanaga hoogas. Some real honky donkey bong longa dodongas. Oh my god. That's funny though. Yeah. Huh, I recognize this artwork. Oh, that's why I recognize this artwork. Wait a minute.
I also really appreciate every moment in this show where he just has those moments where he's like, no, you like he just gets that, like everything that goes on in this main character's mind is super fucking relatable to me. Like I hate it. Like just the moments where he like he tries and just shit doesn't work, or he's like, God, I thought I was fine because I thought no one in this room gave a shit, and like I was the one who was trying and it would work out. But he's a genius who just knows everything. She's literally the person whose art I love, and I'm sure she's got something going on too. And he's just like, what do I do here? Like when he talks to Shinoaki,
what is my role?
Where he's just like, I just don't see what I do. I don't think I can do anything. And she's like, you can do everything. Where she's like, I think you could do anything. That's such a good scene with them.
Which he can. Yeah. Like, he's gotten back 10 years of his life to do whatever he wants with it, right? And so he's actually following the dream he had originally set out for himself, right? And he doesn't know exactly what he wants to do with this dream, right? In terms of, like, design or in film or creation. And obviously project manager is, like, the obvious one here, right? But, or, like, director. But yeah. It's like, he's slowly realizing that, like, wait, I actually do have a place in this, of keeping this together. But my only, like, caveat to the show, again, is, like, who was that to these characters beforehand? Was it the red-haired girl? Like, was she the original one?
I just like to
that
think,
was managing this?
I just like to think that it's someone who doesn't matter in the story, technically. Because, like, if he doesn't take that acceptance letter, maybe somebody else would have gotten accepted. And Michael and I talked about this, it seems like it would be another guy in the room with them. Because it would be 2 guys, 2 girls, and that dynamic makes sense. But, like, there is a way that it makes sense if it would have been the redhead, if, like, the story winds up being ending of, even though he does all this, he doesn't get the recognition with the rest of the group still, because that's kind of what happens to her, right? We know she went to this school, but she winds up just working in the field,
and all these characters also excel in a very specific, very special way, right? That you think of when you're making things. You think of the artist, you think of the soundtrack, you think of the story. You don't think of the person who puts it all together and makes it work.
Yeah, this is very much the unsung hero.
You don't think of the studio
director role.
The studio director, right? Like, until you really get into anime, do you think about the studios you're watching? No, you're just like, ha, pretty picture go burr. Like, that's what it comes down to. And now we're sitting here at this podcast a couple seasons in for me, and I'm like, okay, what studio do I really enjoy watching? Not Cloverworks anymore. I don't trust those fuckers. I reread some Horimiya again because Volume 15 came out in English, and I remembered, man, I really do love that manga. But
so wholesome.
A big thing with this show that we're also just not even talking about is the first half of episode 1. That's a really good example of how shitty the fucking anime and video game industry and all that is, and how
industry
is so well done.
Speaking of shitty video game industry, Blizzard Entertainment.
Hey, Blizzard and Activision.
Man, did you guys hear that Ubisoft keeps losing people?
I mean, Icy Wind, not Blizzard. That would be using a real brand name. Icy Wind Corp. Winter Storm. But
Hard soft.
yeah, no. That like the first half, like this show is another one that could have been a really excellent like movie.
It feels it for sure. Like every part of
Yeah.
this show feels like you could air in like a 6-part movie, and I'd watch all 6 parts of it and love it.
And this is the main show that makes me say like, give me more 50-minute episode intros for the first episode, right? It doesn't have to be like always, but like, give me like a double header on the first episode to get me hooked, to give me the backstory, give me all that shitty gritty detail that you want to put in to develop a character, but you don't have time for it because it would take up an entire episode. Do that here, right? Because you have 30 minutes of here's what happened to this character, here's his backstory, here's why this is happening. We don't know why it's happening, but here's all the main things, his motivations, what he likes, like what happened to him, his history, and then get into the actual story you're trying to tell, right? With the second half of it. Get me hooked first by like giving me the details and then bringing it in to see why it's relevant instead of like trying to sprinkle it in throughout the entire story with flashbacks.
Now,
I'm sick of flashbacks.
I know we've talked a lot about this show, and I know we probably have a lot more to talk about. Thankfully, I think this show has a lot of time, and I also want to get us to our last show because we need to get this podcast over with soon. My mother asked me, she's like, how long do you think we're going to be going? And I was like, well, it depends when we start, but usually
3
episode
hours.
ones take way too long.
There's just so much to talk about.
And this season in particular,
it's our first opinions on shows.
Yeah.
There's no
Like, later
shows to gloss
episodes
over
of
because
shows.
they're garbage
yeah,
this season.
it's
Sucks.
very hard. We spent like some small time with some shows comparatively, like Battle Game. We didn't even really mention the premise of Battle Game, just that it's like garbage. Like being fair to it. But
Okay,
this
Battle
next
Game
show,
is 5 seconds after meeting, but like it just has a 5-second
The-
timer for the fucking sake of it.
this next show, I think we do have to spend some time talking about in particular because oh boy, Daj, you made a pick.
Oh,
Sunny
man.
Boy, 2 episodes
is
of
so-
it, or Madhouse show. So I wanna give context. We were picking I picked shows with the other group, and I literally sat there and when I picked my shows, I went, well, I'll pick Battle Game because I want to stay consistent, and I was like, and then I'll also pick Peach Boy because I really did put my faith in Peach Boy, and that group has 5 people in it, so we only picked 2 shows each, and then we wheeled 2 shows onto it. So when nobody picked Sunny Boy, and I was hoping the wheel would roll it, I did have to go. And we didn't get it. I had to go. I can't believe we didn't pick Sunny Boy. By the way, it was literally the first picked show. We all wanted to pick it.
Second pick. I
On
picked
the
a
other.
second.
No, you picked it first. 'cause you
Aquatope
took
was
it-
first.
No.
Aquatope was first. I was second on the wheel of the series.
Well,
No,
yeah,
but it
but
was
you.
your first
Yeah.
I wasn't first. I wasn't first pick.
No, you were.
Oh, John,
You were first,
John.
Was I
Dodge.
first this
I
year?
have the order. You
Oh,
were
that's right.
first.
I did get
You were
first. That's
first.
right.
You first
Yeah,
picked the
this is
show.
I was
This
scared
was
you
the
were
first
going
overall
to
draft
take
pick.
Aquatope.
This is the first draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, man,
and
what a
and
fucking
one of them, I don't remember who it was, but one of them basically said to me, "Yeah, Madhouse is overrated though, and this is like the simping pick." And I was like, "Yeah, but they're over."
But it's Madhouse.
But
and
it's
you see the
Madhouse,
trailer.
and it's so fucking insane.
No,
It's
Madhouse
so
isn't
out there.
overrated.
You just-
There's a reason they're considered like the most
Can you
consistent
just-
anime
can you
studio
just-
for quality.
Madhouse makes like 1 anime a year. It feels like.
But it
Hey, can
always
you
usually
just-
slaps.
And they're all bangers.
Hey, can you just tell me who that is? I just want to talk. I just want
I
to
just
talk.
wanna talk. All right.
What I will
so-
say is this show would absolutely have gone off week 1 with the other group because I've sat down with some of these people before.
Monkey brains. The
And
monkey brains.
they can't handle certain like no shots at them. I love them, but like we've shot Pet off the podcast, and I think Pet was a psychological thriller that deserved more justification than it got. Like there are some shows that like if you need a certain level of brain capacity for, like more than just sit, watch, enjoy. And this goes for Dylan too. I love Dylan, but his brain turns off.
He's the monkey. Dylan is the monkey brain of our friend group.
Jackman was
Um,
Yeah,
Jackman's
I
the
can't
same
tell
way.
if DJ would have liked this.
Jackman,
Jackman
DJ
probably
other
would
would-
have
okay,
So,
Jackman,
what-
I like as a person, but also his picks last season and his taste in anime just tilt
How do you
me.
not like
Dude,
VP, dude?
Vivi was insane.
Oh my
That was
God.
like the.
Let's-
I love all of you guys. I want to get that clear. I told all of you can come back to the podcast, whatever. They're not gone because I dislike them. They're gone because they can't do the seasons.
Don't play, guys, help. Guys, please help get us out of here. Please. John the Dictator.
Sorry. Yeah, go on.
We are all trapped in a black box. Why are you throwing it back to me? It's your show.
Speaking of trapped in a black box, Sunny Boy.
Fuck, dude.
Wow.
Can
This is a show, dude.
Can we all agree the best part of this show is the lack of an orchestral soundtrack for 80%
Oh my god,
of
I was
it?
gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring it up first.
Like that's the
coolest
first thing you have to talk about.
show is their use of sound design, right? And the entire first episode, there is not a single background track. It is silent outside of characters talking and this void around them, right? From minute one, they're showing you this void,
You
right?
also get like the birds and the windows breaking. Like you have all the sound effects.
You have the
as
sound
well.
effects and all like the real environment, but you don't have like the passive like undertone of like a
You
background
don't have
song.
the chatter. You don't have.
You have it a
like,
bit more in episode 2, I think. I think there was some in
Well,
episode
so-
2, but
So in episode 1, you didn't get any non-dialogue or environmental sound effect that was needed for the plot until they jumped off the building and landed in the water, and as the frame they did,
Mhm.
that's when the
hear the
anime
ocean.
started.
And it's our opening, apparently, I believe, but it's only being played as an
It's
E.
labeled
as,
as
an
the
ED.
opening.
So
So-
we don't have an
But-
ED yet.
So what I'll say too is like we learn a lot very quickly. This is the show that like I had to sit down and like pause it for a second, think about what they said, rewind a bit, and then rewatch it for a second just to really understand what they're going for here. It is so out there, but like in the most right way. Like it feels like I don't know what's happening at any given time of this show, but I know what's happening to a degree. Like we get an idea mostly in episode 2. We start to understand it a bit more, but like we have our one guy who's the nerdy kid, right? The black-haired African American gentleman who is like doing a lot of the science behind it and talking
Might be
about this.
Indian.
And
He's Indian, I'm pretty sure,
Whatever-
based on his
what-
name.
whatever distinction he has, no
Yeah.
judgment. Like the void idea is such a cool concept, and like explaining it, like thing will go out of the void and then pull back in, and it returns to the state it was when it first entered this area, right? So the school itself is in its own dimension of like constant time stick, right? Where like things are happening and time is moving, but it's also not, right? Like if you cut yourself, a second later it's gone and reverted back to normal state from when you entered the school. Like the penalty thing was interesting. We don't know what the rules behind it were. Is it the Star Kid's power? Is it his power?
It seems to
like,
be implied
to
it's the world.
establish
It's
the
just the
rules?
world's power. Like that
Is
just
it the
seems
world's
to
power?
be because
Once
that's
you
what the
establish
blue.
If
rules?
you break the rules, someone can give you
What-
a penalty.
What does this kid know about this? Does he know about what's going on?
Well,
Because Star
he-
Kid seems like the biggest kiss that knows way more than he should. Like he looks like he's God.
Can we talk
'Cause
about
he
episode
literally
2
feels like
for a
that.
hot minute? Because Michael and I had the same realization watching episode 2. There is a scene where they are talking, and I think it's our scientist boy talking to Star Kid, and he speaks, and I swear his voice actor changes in response.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to note, on my anime list, last time I checked, he did not have a voice actor listed.
Okay, so
Wait a
that does
minute.
actually happen where
That's
where like
They're talking.
I'm going to call him JoJo because he's literally a fucking JoJo's character.
He
He
reminds
does have the JoJo birthmark.
He
once
has the
it-
JoJo
With the Joseph
birthmark, and
birthmark.
he has the like, he's like fucking like Giorno and Dio mixed together.
he does have a voice actor listed on here,
Okay,
but
yeah.
who knows if he
Well-
gets multiple. But
No,
Keep going.
but that does happen where he like there's a point where all of the class is like, I think it's when they're determining like what's going on with the thing.
he's trying to explain that it's not her fault.
Yeah, and the JoJo kid is like says something, and it's in like it's in one of those layered voices where you can hear two voices at once, and then like it cuts to someone else talking, and then cuts back to him, and
Back to one.
and it's back to one. It's back to his normal voice.
Something's up with him and the
For
super
sure.
power he got of being basically God. It feels like, or he thinks he's God at least. But like it's cool how they explain it too. Where like basically where they are is they're in like an alternate dimension, right? That is connected to other dimensions through certain gateways, and that is Nozomi's power, or that she got, is that she can see the doorways basically to other dimensions, right? She's the compass, as she said, is her ability, and she's the guide through these different areas to locate different things, and find different worlds. And basically, they're just traveling through the different worlds using her to like pull what we don't know what's going to happen here, but she basically pulled the entire school into this separate dimension, right? Which the school itself acts as its own like pocket dimension inside of this overarching dimension of the island now, and it's like, and each different like area or dimension has its own alternate like rules to reality and to nature. Like in this case, you had to make an equal. Like the first school was a pocket void that didn't change, right? But once rules were established, you had to follow those rules or face a penalty, right? Is all we know, right? From what the show gives. That's what I'm assuming. This is my
Yeah,
interpretation
it is.
of it.
If everyone agrees on a rule, that rule
Once
must
someone
be
agrees on the
followed.
rules, those rules must be followed. And if they are broken, you are subject to a penalty as determined by whoever calls penalty, apparently.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, on the island, you cannot give anything away. You have to make a trade for it, or else it will burn.
Well, it's the law of equivalent exchange. You can't
It's the law of
you
equivalent
can't
exchange.
get something without giving
You
something
can't get
in
something without giving
return.
something in return. In which, at the end, they kind of break that, but it's assumed that because he gave the cat back, that was treated as an exchange. Because she mentioned
My
it as an
thing is
exchange
more,
for
it's a
Annabella.
mental thing.
Yeah.
And previously, she just thinks they're using her for her
Yeah.
power and just taking things from her and using them.
And that's why
Well,
everything
at the end,
started burning.
she gives it to him. He's not taking it from her.
One thing I liked
But
as
also
well.
in the other one, with the power up, it's very much he gives it to her and says, "Take the power."
Mhm.
And then she becomes a Tanuki from Mario. And then it's the greatest like 5 seconds of animation ever, where she becomes a Tanuki, and then lights on fire, and then the water splashes on her.
I love
Is-
that's such a cool scene too to explain. Like I like how he explains what's going on too, right? Like they take a second to explain the science, kind of like how Bunny Girl explained the science right behind it. But like it really makes more sense in this like fictional science fiction, right? Like in the science fiction, it makes it a little bit more sense here than like real fundamental physical principles.
Mason, you had a thought.
This show just
Yeah.
like makes me like feel like I'm watching the end of Evangelion every time, where it's just like I'm so lost, but I'm so with it in this case.
So one thing too, since we're talking about
Also, a month has passed. Time skips.
so we were talking about like Mizuho. One thing that I really liked, and I was kind of ranting to John about a bit, was the whole thing with the castle burning, where Mizuho was living in the castle, and I thought it was cool that as soon as the like student council president got jealous and tried like booting her out and getting everyone to turn on her, that's when the castle started burning, because it was kind of like a metaphor for student council president taking over
Which felt like
and
it
like
was taken.
taking it for herself, and because it wasn't a fair trade, no
Mhm.
one gets it.
I think also most frustrating thing, dude, this main character, I'm considering him the main character, or no powers, is just vibing. But I'm assuming the idea is that he's the reason everyone's thrown in here, is where they're
Yeah.
potentially going with this, because that's kind of the vibe they give in episode 1. But like him being like, yeah, I saw her staring at the fire, and his buddy just going, yeah, she makes the fire, and he goes, no, I didn't. What? No, and they don't listen. Like that moment is so well executed, because it's exactly what would happen in the situation. Like
Yeah.
they're kids.
Gossip.
They don't listen.
People love gossip.
It's so frustrating where he's like, this is my fault, but and I'm like, no, it's not. You didn't do anything wrong.
Also, this show, when they do the wide shots and it's fucking watercolor, hand painted,
Dude, it's
oh my god,
Like,
it's so
The
pretty.
animation isn't the best thing you've ever seen, but it's one of the most well done, like dynamic things we've seen
the
in a
shot
while.
in episode 1 where they're on the roof of the school, and she climbs down the ladder. And, like, the way they do that shot is so, like, again, it's not, like, stellar
makes sense.
PA works, Kyoto animation beautiful,
It's not
but
like a
it's,
movie.
like, it's simplistic and executed so, like, purposefully that it's amazing. Like, this is a different kind of art, in a way.
Any other anime just has her cheat and jump down, right?
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
doesn't
So-
explain that would hurt on your knees. Like the actual like act of climbing is something that's really important to me. Like it just like I love like the hand drawn aesthetic feel of this. Like it looks like one of those like picture books that you draw like 1,000 frames and then it's just like you know like the notebooks.
It looks like a Ghibli movie.
Fair.
There are a couple of things. Michael and I went through this problem of what the fuck does this show look like? Because this show looks very much like one thing in particular that I've seen before, and I can't put my finger on it, and I have yet to be able to track it down. And I have ideas, like the scene where she's jumping into the black abyss makes me think of Girl Who Left Through Time. That's not what it is,
Yeah,
though. But
okay.
like that is what I'm thinking of, and I know this character designer did like Perfect Blue and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Satoshi
sure-
Kon. Satoshi Kon.
But it's like there is something I've watched in particular that this just screams, and I can't think of it.
quality.
or it's just a mental effect it has on me when I
Also,
see
by
it.
the way, anime onlys again, man. Anime onlys making fucking bank these last couple seasons. They're crazy. Oh.
Also, like, I going back to the animation, the bit where you see what the first penalty guy can do and the effect it has on the actual animation, where where it just suddenly becomes really high def with the glass breaking, is just so good.
Or like he's like morphing the world around them.
The
Right?
That's
And like MC Eschering the school.
The foreign
Yeah.
student whose hair with the electricity and like the magnesis just like goes over beautiful, absolutely stunning. This show, now I say all this and then it's 4 on my list. And the thing that's so difficult about it is it's so hard to pinpoint what Sunny Boy can do and is, and it has that. It had that same effect watching episode 1 of Sunny Boy as watching episode 1 of Wonder Egg did for me, where I literally was speechless for 80% of it, except for like the moments that made me go, what the fuck am I watching? Or like, or me going, oh my god, the music just kicked in. Like that mental of like, I knew it wasn't playing music, it was there, but when it starts playing, I actually really notice. Like, I'm just so worried.
I think we were like 10 minutes into the show when I went, Mason, I don't think there's any music in the show.
I was so worried. And I am so worried that this show could just drop it. And that's why,
what I'm saying.
I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid
scary.
yet to put it higher.
You've been burned too much recently.
Yeah.
Wonder Egg still lingers in your mind. Michael, you haven't said anything about this show.
I said, what do you say about the show? That's the real thing.
That's the thing, right? Like, how do you describe this
the
show
issue
to
that we
somebody?
only have 2 episodes of this show. There's not enough to like get a, like as Charles said, we don't have enough to make a full opinion about it. But what we have has all been really good.
It's a different
And I've
problem
loved
from
all of
Peach
it.
Boy Riverside.
can-
Peach Boy Riverside
can-
has things
Sorry, go
but no plot. This has a plot, but I have no idea what's gonna happen
How can-
around it.
Here's the thing: how can we understand it if the characters don't know what's going on either?
Yeah, which
like,
is fair.
That's the thing. It's like that classic thing. Is like, how are my opponents gonna know what I'm doing if I don't know what I'm doing myself? It's the same thing here. It's like,
Mental.
how are they supposed to explain a plot to you if it's slowly forming as we go? Like, and even the characters don't know what's happening or what's going on fully, right? They have an idea, but like, even that idea is so far abstract into science fiction that it seems crazy.
Mason, here's another one of those connecting points again. This season as a whole just screaming D. Greyman to me. Starboy also just feels like one of the main antagonists, and he could just fit perfectly in with that bunch of crazy assholes who look.
I think that's what Mason brought up.
He has the exact
Actually.
he has like the exact same look as like Road Camelot does, and I don't know, I can't think of the other one's name, but it's the one who's always with Road. Like, it's like a mixture of those two. It's just like, it's that, because the one's a lot taller, but he has more of like the facial of that character, whereas like he has like the hair, and I think Road even has a star on I think Road's actually technically a he on his face.
Yeah, it's they have the crown of stars.
Yeah, like, he feels like a mixture of those two characters to me, and that's also why I immediately don't trust them. Outside of the show giving you good reason not to trust him and the other student council members, because they're all just kind of assholes.
The show's just so crazy, dude. Like, I don't know how to like
This
talk about
season's
this
wild.
show or say anything about like this whole season's wild, but like this show is just like the topping of it. Like, I love that the show is gonna be the last one we talk about every week.
It was just like Wonder Egg.
Because like man, this show is going to be the one we have the most like rampant discussions on, and that like there's
Okay.
just so much shit to talk about. With
Hold
this,
on.
but
So
at the same time, nothing.
we've ended podcasts with Sunny Boy, Wonder Egg,
Wondering which.
Vivi.
I think Wondering
Was it
which was
which?
like second last or last.
I don't remember what would be after which. Did we do
It's
the
W.
Wandering Witch? So was it?
No, we were W.
It was W. What
we
would it
definitely
been?
did it with Wandering Witch.
I think Wondering which was second last, but
I can't think of what would
Yeah,
have been.
I want to say there was something else after, but I can't think of what it was.
dude, the last shows are always just like absolutely monkey clown.
Let me
monkey
pull up.
brain.
I have the full list of everything. Let me pull up. God, was the last show of that season really Rifle is Beautiful? Oh my god, no, it wouldn't have been. Special. That one might have been Special 7. Unless Africa No Salaryman was a weird alphabet thing. Orphan was the last show we talked about that season. That's really good. Sing Yesterday would have been the one for that season if we did it. Uzaki was technically the... God, that season was terrible. Summer last year, it was Uzaki was the last show. Super H Heros, Redder Girlfriend, Mr. Love's Queen's Choice,
Super Sentai
Monster
Hentai?
Girl. Yeah, we had a lot of garbage.
You watched that? Oh,
and the worst thing
no.
was it wasn't the first show gone. Tonikawa
Dylan
was
picks those-
Tonikawa for... I have Tonikawa here. Because
I think we might have been Tonikawa after Wondering Witch because we did the Wondering Witch.
Or we might have done Journey of Elaine.
I think no,
and
we didn't do
Throne
that one. I think Wandering Witch. I think it was the Journey of Lane. I think you're right. It was like second to last. Though. It was down there because I remember like I always remember we'd spend like an hour on that and then have one more show to talk about and then vote off.
Yeah, and then it was Egg, and then it was Vivi. But yeah, no, we have. This season is just wild.
This is a stack. We're gonna get 3 weeks in, and I'm gonna go, what the fuck do I vote off?
I have the votes in, and I will say what I did for this decision was I just went. I didn't even really abide by my ranking. I just went, you know what? What shows do I think legitimately deserve a slay this week? So I think I slayed 4 things.
I think I slayed.
I did 3. I'm pretty sure.
Let me see. I did 1. Let me see. I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I did 4 as well. Like, there's 4 shows I'm
Mason
like
did
willing
3.
to move on from.
I did 4.
I did 4.
Michael, do you know how many you did?
I am Sunny
2.
Boy.
You did 2.
God damn it! I'm the sunniest boy.
I put Sunny as an SUNNY and then Boy as in BOY. Like because I can.
We got Mason sticking traditional for the first week. His name's just Mason.
He's new. He'll get along with you.
Actually, let me see if I can.
While you're tallying, you guys want to see what I got in the mail this week? Finally, after like months of back order and waiting from Japan, a Nobara plushie.
What you get?
A plushie of Nobara Kugisaki from Jujutsu Kaisen. Look how cute it is.
It's good.
It's got the little
Very
back
good.
frills and everything. She's adorable.
Let's see.
Read the manga. It's
Cool,
on break right now.
This is gonna work. Actually, no.
It's
Let's
probably on
just
break until July's over too, Mason.
let's just do. Oh, no, that's not what I want.
We might still be another 2 weeks out of more JJK content.
There
I mean,
it
I
is.
haven't read it in like 3 weeks.
Mason, no one has. It hasn't.
I forgot
nothing
I
has
did.
been
I forgot I
updated
didn't
since
go with
like
Sunny as
June.
boy. I did change it.
Oh,
last
so
second.
that was the last chapter then.
Yeah, so
Cool.
the end of the Maki arc is the end of the last.
shit.
Nothing has been released since 190.
Cool.
Whatever it is.
I will do it this way, so everyone can
I
actually
think it was in
see.
May.
Everyone here can actually see the votes now. So Octopus
I
got
forgot
a
I didn't
slay.
go with Sunniest boy because it wasn't my show.
Yeah, I submitted my name as my ability is slaying shows even when I don't want to. So we are moving in. Octope 1 slay. Battle game sitting at 3. This makes sense. Understandable that Vanitas is at full saves.
Yeah.
50-50 on the Detective is Dead. 1 slay to Black Company. Girlfriend, full safe. Realist Hero, full safe. 50-50 on Life Lessons. 3 slays on Peach Boy. 1 slay on Remain. So it's gonna be one of mine. It's gonna be one of... So I did full... So I slayed Life Lessons, Peach Boy, Battle Game, and... Did I do Black Company? I don't think I did.
I did Remain, 5 Seconds, Black Company, and Peach Boy.
I did Detective, Peach Boy, and Aquatope.
I did Battle Game, Detective, and then Peach Boy.
I'll tell you what. Sean, since we're going to the wheel, because we love our wheels here, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We put both the shows on the wheel. And we'll put, for the one time ever, a safety square.
You want to put a safety square?
I want to put a safety square.
I
Which
don't
everyone
wanna
gets
do a safety
selected
square,
is
'cause I don't-
gone. Okay, what if we put like 4 of each show in 1 safety square? So it's like a 1 in 9 shot. Just for the fucking memes. Or do you want to stick
I
to
don't
the
feel
actual
like
name?
I don't feel like not having a show die
Fair enough.
because the shows did get voted to be slayed.
Fair
The only time I think shows shouldn't die is if we get a full set where everything gets all saves.
We have like a week 5 where it's just everything. I mean,
Hold on.
don't you have? I guess we never said you had to slay anything technically.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
no, we can choose. You can choose not to slay anything.
I
if we
I
wanted.
have done full pacifist things.
Man,
but
I will
just
say,
don't
like,
really care.
of the seasons I've been on, this might be the only season where like a full pacifist day is gonna happen for me. Cause like,
Yes.
man, I like a lot of these shows a lot.
I do as
Same
well.
here.
This is gonna be a
And
really,
I think
really
with me,
tough.
I think this season's good, but I,
think
don't
stuff will
think it's hitting
separate.
nearly as high of highs as last season did.
Just
Or even
Okay.
like, or even the Horimiya season, or even like the Jujutsu Kaisen like, JJK
Like,
Akudama
JJK and
season.
Akudama were wild.
Like,
Hey,
I don't think it hits the highest highs, but it hits like very high middle grounds for every show. It feels like even
Yeah.
every
Like,
single
there's no,
show
like,
on the list,
really
I can say there
bad
was stuff I liked
shows.
about it. Right? Like there was no Praetor this season. There was no
yeah.
There's no. I hate all of this.
So
It gets funnier
we
the more we do it.
I am partially doing this because I do have a preference here. We can technically say we do occasionally do that revote. I don't know about you. There is a show particularly out of these two that I would rather be watching next week. But I don't know if everyone else feels
But
that way.
I think if we do a revote where we're only allowed to vote one, I know what one's. It's gonna just be a tie again.
You think?
I don't think so.
so
Oh wait, no, because I did
I think
make
4
my
votes go to
promise.
one of these shows.
I think I know which show it is if
I-
we do a revote.
I'm
I can
just
say
saying.
right now which show gets revoted off. Sean, I know you want to say Peach Boy. I know.
I know you want to say Peach.
I do. I
No.
do. But also, it's a.
I also like the wheel though.
Oh wait, I forgot.
Do you guys do?
I forgot Peach Boy's on. I forgot Peach Boy's on this, and it's not life lessons.
It's Peach
No,
Boy
it's
and
not life
Battle
lessons.
Game,
Only
dude.
you
It's
and I
Peach
slay
Boy and
life
Battle Game.
lessons.
Yeah, Mason, my brother. I
So
owe you one this week, Mason.
I mean, look, I will. I mean, I said I wanted another episode of either of these, so technically I'm losing
Wait,
no
did you
matter
pick-
what. But
Are these both Sean shows?
yes, correct. I told you, I by far have the weakest link of shows this season.
Oh,
Like I'm
no.
not
What's your
afraid to
third?
say that. It's Remain, which I think has really good potential, and it, like I said, it's the one that I would rather
Oh, that's rough.
not have here. I'm just saying, this could have been a fine season for me if Crunchyroll and Toonami would like to have produced Fina Pirate Princess, to come out when the season starts, not August 13th.
Dude, it could have been anywhere. You were anywhere from banger to bust this season.
No,
But
no,
you also would have been me, which is like the one horse pony train where you ride the one show you liked the entire
Look,
way to the end.
I'm
and then
sorry.
lose.
I'm sorry. I looked at Battle Game in 5 seconds and went, I have to pick it. Like I
that
just
was me with girlfriend.
I had
and
to.
unfortunately, I was the banger this season.
wow.
Dude, I honestly feel a little bad because like I was going to pick Remain, and then I was like, wait, no.
Oh, we're spinning. We're spinning. We can't see the wheel fully.
That's okay. It'll.
Battle game.
Battle
Yay! This is one I at least wanted to watch. I'll be honest.
Easy time. Easy time. No worries. No worries.
You're gonna have to change the extra pictures in the top right here.
I just realized if I didn't vote Battle Game and I just voted Life Lessons, it would have.
We've been on here. We've been on for so long. My light timed out.
Wild. No, I'm keeping the top right so far. Those pictures still work.
You gotta update it with the last season.
We all
We
love.
we have a last season image.
I want to be.
The idea is that these are all things that have won their season.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, technically yes, because Akudama technically won. I should also have a Jujutsu Kaisen representation on this podcast, but
Look, man, I'm happy and also sad I wasn't on for the season of Skate the Infinity because, like, I'm sorry, blue-haired Dio on a skateboard should not have won that season.
You would have also been a Hori representative, dude.
dude,
I
mean,
needed those.
dude, the dub.
I needed those.
the
I had
dub's real
Jackman
good.
and these two. I had Jackman and these two on there, and I had no chance.
Look, I'm sorry.
Uh,
Maybe Cloverworks should have just done
I'm
better.
so excited, man. I'm on pace for another runner-up this season. Let's go.
Dude,
Yeah, I think-
they
I-
hit,
I
like,
think you're
top-
all in.
top five.
I think you're all in pretty good spots. I mean, I would say for me, I think Vanitas is very high up. I think obviously Sunny Boy has really good chance. And like if I had to look at something out of Michael's pool, I mean remakes. I think very likely to stick around a long time, or Aquatope if it like.
I think is girlfriend gonna be the trashiest show that makes it the furthest. I guess Orisuke made the final cut.
You never know. You never know. Peach Boy could be the show that every single week is tied on the wheel and continually somehow manages to keep dodging bullets every week. It's possible.
It just narrowly dodges bullets.
That's what happened. That's what happened with Back Arrow. Back Arrow just kept dodging the bullets, and we memed it a little.
Fucking Back Arrow, dude.
Dude, I gotta finish it. I heard it pops off as a mecha. I did actually want to say this before we go. The director for Sunny Boy has also directed Aka 13, which I've heard good things about but never watched. He directed Boogie Pop.
Oh,
The
right.
original, I believe, right? Or is it the new one?
2019.
Okay.
I still need to watch new Boogie Pop. I have to watch old Boogie Pop too.
He directed the original Horizon the Miyamura-kun animation.
Oh, that was good.
He directed One Punch Man.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good direction. Season 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he directed Space Dandy.
Oh, hell yeah, I love that show.
And then I wanted to say, and then he's done a bunch of key animation, and like he's done key animation for where are they? He's done key animation for fucking Doraemon, for Brotherhood. He storyboarded in my opinion one of if not the best seasons of Haikyuu, which is the Shiro Torizawa season.
Ooh, that was a good one. That
Yeah.
was season 4, right?
3.
Season 3.
It's 3.
The fourth one was
Yeah,
3.
to the
Four,
top is
because
4.
4 is to the top, and then to the top split in part. He also did key animation for Mob Psycho 100.
Oh my god.
He did key animation for certain episodes of stuff like Shippuden.
So what you're saying is Sunny Boy's in good hands.
Yeah. He's done some wild key animation. Also, I remember, because I looked this up a couple of times, a handful of people involved with Sunny Boy have done, like, parts of working on, I had it, and I just don't want to get its name wrong. Shakugan no Shana, which I know is a popular one.
That show, I did watch that, actually, funny enough. That show looks really good.
Yeah, but
Or, like it's like an early, like, isn't it like mid-2000s anime? I want to say.
I think it's early 2010s.
Yeah,
It's like early 2010s.
this
but, like,
sound director.
It looks really good for its time, I think.
This sound director for
alright.
Sunny Boy is Aka 13, Baki,
Oh god.
Bakugan Battle Planet.
Shakugan no Shana was like 20.
It was
The
2008.
final season was 2012.
He was
Yeah.
Blue Line, Boogie Pop. He did Darling sound direction, which, like, Darling sounds good. He was Fairy Tail sound director. This man's fucking done a lot of shit.
2005 was the start date of Shana. Holy shit.
This
Little
is
light
the
novel.
sound director for Great Pretender.
What? No, the actual anime.
Ooh.
The actual anime started in 05. And then went through 2012 because there was 3 seasons.
He's Log Horizon sound director. He's
Ooh, database sound director, Pog?
I'm also trying to think of what this show is, and because I'm seeing its Japanese name, and I'm trying to think of what its English one is. I'm just gonna open it so I know. Ancient Magus Bride.
Ooh. For sound design?
Yeah, sound director. One Punch Man. Again, like these two are a good team for what they've done. He did. He was the sound director for Kabaddi.
Man, Sunny Boy is my golden goose, man. It's my golden goose for this season. Like, Girlfriend's great, or Michi-san's funny, but I know it's not gonna last. Sunny Boy is like my golden. It's my hope to win. It's my championship hope.
Dude,
you know, it's my.
He's also the fucking sound director for Vinland Saga.
You'd watch that.
I need to finish Vinland Saga, dude. But
to track like where our picks like place over the course of the season. Like, who has the best value pick? You know, on average, who has the best like top pick?
not me.
Dude,
Yeah, I think I won last season for that one.
Dude, I got fucking 3 bangers apparently. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
2
it's going
bangers
well.
and like a half.
I feel like I did pretty good last season. Like, Osamaki got voted off early, but I think it was a solid show.
To be fair,
What else? What finished second? Oh, that's right. I put Saints, and then I had what was on the wheel?
Osamake was your wheel. Your actual. What the fuck was your actual pick last season?
I had Saints, and then I had
Because me and you won wheel, because I got Godzilla and you got something else.
Gosamake.
You had
Tui.
Osamake. Yeah, well done with you.
Oh, right.
Oh, because I had another one that was short form, and it'll be that anyway. So
Yeah, no, but I mean, to be fair, the shows that are on watch list are Detective had to, Life Lessons had to, which I'm sorry, Michael, you have to go through what I did with Animal Planet, where you have to sit through another week of it.
Yeah.
Even though you hate it, it happens to everybody at some point.
oh my god, the fucking scene where she hits the block and catches on fire is a fucking gif on Twitter already.
I will say, Jesus. I will say, looking at it, let's go real quick. I'll let everybody know for Wednesday what to expect from the show list. This is gonna be a fun one, let me tell you that. So, Wednesday, you can expect... I imagine we will be live at a more reasonable hour. But Wednesday, you will once again see Battle in 5 seconds, and we'll see if it survives. I have a sinking feeling it will. That should say something. We have Vanitas on that one. Cheat Pharmacist, Slow Life, Making a Drugstore in Another World. Detective is Already Dead, The Duke of Death and His Maid, which is probably the one show that's not on our list that I'm very excited to watch.
Duke of Death looked interesting.
Dungeon of Black Company, Girlfriend, Realist Hero, Mother of Goddesses Dormitory, Peach Boy Riverside, Remake Our Life, and Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, which I'm also expecting not to be the biggest fan of. I can imagine Moonlit Fantasy, Mother of Goddesses Dormitory, and Cheat Pharmacist could all be worse than Battle Game. Cause oh boy. Those will be fun, for sure. Pharmacist was wheeled, so that was great. The other show that was wheeled, I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. It might have. I'd have to check. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I highly recommend coming out Wednesday. Checking out the stream. It'll be a good time. Until then, we have literally passed 3 hours of being live. That's atrocious. This is gonna be a fun episode to upload. I might consider cutting it in 2, but I don't know about that. Oof.
We got through week 1 though, boys.
This is why I tried to timestamp. Hopefully, we're gonna blitz through. The problem is, our batch of shows is so good. We might have this issue for a while, so we might just have to cut the beginning portion of the podcast out where we talk about shit. We might just have to get right into anime.
We talk about shit at the end.
Yeah.
John, did you see my new plushie though?
No.
You were looking down at the time. Look at it.
Oh, wonderful. Best girl.
So cute. Nobara Kugisaki, she is so good. She's second best girl now, but that's because the manga is really good.
Also, pain for us.
Alphamaki's fucking hot, dude.
Pain for us for next season. We're not getting Shield Hero. See, the next part.
Dude, if I don't get first pick next season, I'm gonna fucking off myself, dude.
What do you want for next season?
You already know what I want next season.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Dude, that's the fucking easy number 1 pick for me.
If there's one that if I am back next season, there's exactly one show that I need it to be mine. Because Chainsaw Man is getting its anime.
Oh man, that's next season 2.
Are we confirmed it's next season?
Oh, do I have to pick shit if I get first pick?
Isn't it at like a weird timing where it's like
I hope not.
gonna. I thought they like said something
Right,
weird.
not because Chainsaw Man might be the best show in years, dude.
Chainsaw Man,
This shit's getting so much hype. I was like, I need to know.
God, we're getting the second half of 86. I totally forgot about that.
Oh fuck.
Oh man, maybe I want to take a season off. Oh wait, we're getting the Jujutsu Kaisen movie too.
What the fuck is this?
What? Data Live season 4, Blue Period.
Tucked OP. Destiny.
What is this?
It is a Mappa Madhouse collabed anime.
Okay, can someone send me this list, by the way?
It is an action music sci-fi show.
Here, first of all,
I guess I need to take that over Blue Period.
You want to tell me what the fuck that screenshot is?
And I wanted to take.
Here, Mason. Here's a list.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have fun with this season and next season. Thanks for tuning in to the Saber Slay podcast. This has been the first episode of summer. We have to stop before we never do. Have a great night, guys.
True.